doing it live.
This is Boston's home for sports. WBC FM and HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub.
A Beasley Media Group station.
Sports Hub headlines.
The Red Sox scored 7 runs in the bottom of the third inning last night. They beat Seattle 14-7 at Fenway Park in the opener of a 3-game series. Masataka Yoshida hit a 2-run homer and drove in 4 runs to lead the offense. The same 2 teams go again at Fenway tonight. Sox also made a minor trade yesterday, sending AAA second baseman and former first-round draft pick Nick York to Pittsburgh for 23-year-old right-handed pitcher Quinn Priester. Priester was immediately sent to Worcester. The Major League Baseball trade deadline arrives at 6 p.m. Eastern time tonight, and there were a small flurry of trades yesterday. Overnight, Atlanta brought back outfielder Jorge Soler and reliever Luke Jackson from San Francisco. Seattle got Justin Turner from Toronto, and the Dodgers made the biggest deal of the day. They got infielder Tommy Edman and reliever Michael Kopech in a 3-team trade with St. Louis and the White Sox. The Patriots defense struggled yesterday during the first padded practice of the summer. Defensive linemen Matthew Judon and Devon Godshaw were both present but didn't participate, apparently over their contracts, and Jabril Peppers wasn't able to finish after suffering a lower leg injury. On offense, Gerard Mayo continues to search for answers on the line.
Gerard, you talked a lot about how you want the best 5 offensive linemen out there. At what point do you want to determine who those 5 are? I know for the last couple of days we've seen the same group out there.
Yeah, honestly, I would say, that's why we have the preseason. And, hopefully going into the 3rd preseason game, we have a good understanding of who those 5 will be.
David Andrews was missing again from practice, along with Jake Andrews, Sione Takitaki, and Kendrick Bourne. The team will practice again at 11 a.m. this morning. And at the Summer Olympics yesterday, the Americans won a bronze medal in the team competition for gymnastics for the men, and the U.S. women's basketball team won their opener from Japan, 102-76. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Awaken 180. Take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame with Awaken 180. How many birdies can you uncover? Awaken180weightloss.com. I'm John Wallach at Boston's home for sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Get
There's the potential there for big stuff.
98.5, the Sports Hub app. Get the app.
Fred, hello. 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 Mm-hmm. Hello. Hello. Hello.
He's naked. He has a sword.
Boopity up with a football.
98.5.
Bruins are back from the West Coast.
Cocaine and hookers. Yes. Na.
Is it okay to use this for the radio?
Yeah. Welcome to the show, you sweet bitch.
I crashed my flying machine.
Hit the pulse right there.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are Toucher and Hardy, Tom Fair Tire Studios. There's only 2 people swimming in the pool. Isn't that weird? There's only 2 of them swimming in the pool. I'm not kidding. And one's very far behind. That's got to be embarrassing. Look at that. The 2 people in one race.
Huh.
What the hell is that?
I don't know.
That's really strange. Oh, no, they're all, the rest of them are so far behind. Fred.
No, but when they do an aerial shot of the pool, like, you can't see anybody. Like, even if they were super far behind you, they would be in frame. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, at least going the other way.
Right, exactly.
This is the women's 1,500-meter freestyle swim.
Yeah, nobody else wants to do it. Just these 2.
It's one of those boring. See,
oh,
like,
yeah.
like that.
Yeah. 1, 2.
I thought I saw a third.
I thought I saw a third, too, which is why I said what I said.
Well, the third one's spending a lot of time invisible. Oh, there
it is. There are 3 of them in the pool.
Yeah, 3 people in the pool. All right, there you go. 3 people.
I think you're right.
That,
do I really have to swim that far? I'd rather do something else.
Yeah, exactly.
That really good swimming guy from France the other night, they said one of the things he does when he does his kick turn there, Fred, that thing that woman just executed that you cannot.
I could not do a kick turn, even
Right.
though the lady with the one leg, inspirational character, could do it and would teach me. I couldn't do it.
But the guy from France who does it, he goes really low. And it seems counterintuitive. It's like, why would you dive deeper? You should stay near the surface and, the shortest distance between 2 points type of deal. And they said, no, there's turbulent water closer to the surface. So he goes really low on his kick turns and kind of does almost like a U-shaped, long, U-shape back up to the surface.
You're faster underneath than you are on the surface type of thing?
Avoids the turbulent water on the Wallach.
The chop.
The chop. The white caps.
Yes.
You understand?
I do.
Well, okay. I didn't. You do.
No,
Maybe. You're a
you explained it to me, so
Thank
I
you.
understand.
Thank
That was
you.
my point.
But that Frenchman, he understood it.
Yeah.
That's how I deal with people. Is I think the turbulent water is at the top. That's why I try to get into their soul.
Is that what you do?
That's really deep, Fred.
Thank you. Someone left Nesson on in Charlie Moore because it's summer. Charlie Moore is on, and they have this thing with Charlie Moore in a private plane. I want to know.
Can't hide money.
I want to know how Charlie Moore makes money anymore, and I also want to know how, even if it's like how he would have a friend with a private plane, like who is a fan of Charlie Moore? Not even that he's like an a-hole or something, but just that who would care enough about Charlie Moore to want him around.
Well, that's it. I would allow myself to get to a place where I believe that Charlie Moore has a friend with a private plane, but having that same friend allow him on the private plane, that's another step. I can't get there.
I was told that a long time ago that I would be very surprised at the friends that guy has, and I was asking, what are you talking about? And for some reason, this a long time ago, I was on Nesson when they staffed people and had a late night show. And there was a limo when I arrived at the parking lot in Watertown. There was a limo parked outside, and just as I pulled up, out popped the Mad Fisherman with Chuck Woolery. For some reason, he is a good friend of Chuck Woolery, and they both got out of a limo and walked into the studio.
Chuck Woolery.
Just bizarre friends this guy has.
He became a conservative pundit.
Yes, eventually
Chuck
he
Woolery.
did.
But when I first moved here in 2006, there was an article in like GQ or something about Charlie Moore, and that he was on the verge of, he had like an ESPN deal, like he was going to become this big star. So Charlie Moore, when I first moved here, was on the cusp of something, but then it never happened. So, and that was 17, 18 years ago. So
I remember when we first started this show, he was on.
I know.
Within the first month.
No,
we
he was.
had him
I
on.
think he was on our first show.
Oh, really?
Looking back is very cringy. It's one of the
Yes.
things that is very, very cringy.
I remember vividly when the interview was over. Everyone in the room said, "No, he's not coming on."
Well, and also,
That's it.
why the hell did we have him on the first show?
I don't know.
That was very much probably my decision too, and I just look back at it and cringe that I did something like that. But there's no way he makes a lot of money because at least he started buying the time on Nesson, and there was a time he probably made some money. The only time I met him, he was a dick, but it was when I was at the Andelman or the not Andelman, the Ernie Bach Jr. party.
Yes,
years and years and years ago, and we had just had Milo, so it was 16 years ago. We had just had Milo, and Stephanie was literally wearing Milo, and like Charlie, it was so we got there super early because we were just gonna leave early. And Charlie Moore was standing there, and I'm like, "Hey, I think it was right after we started here."
No, I remember because the weather woman fell into the pool. I remember the whole.
But I believe we had just had Charlie Moore on the show.
Okay.
And I was like, "Hey, I'm Fred Toucher at 98.5 The Sports Hub. We just had you on like yesterday." He's like,
Good God.
Dude, I can't even remember yesterday.
You fish on a station that people can't find if they live outside of New England, pal.
Well,
good for you.
Oh, well, we have a story. Go ahead.
No, the Beat Charlie Moore show, and you mentioned that he showed up with Chuck Woolery. Guest contestant Chuck Woolery won an Emmy.
There you go.
For his appearance on Beat Charlie Moore.
There it is. That's when I saw
There
Chuck.
is an abundance of television Emmys. I can tell you that right now. Tom, go ahead.
Hey, what's going on, guys? So I went to high school with his son, and one year his son didn't make the football team. So he came in his big Hummer with Codfather on it, and he was like, "Do you know who I am? I'm Charlie Moore." And the coaches were like, "We don't care. Like, we don't care, dude."
Okay, the one thing I question about the story is that he would A, have a Hummer, and B, with a vanity license plate.
No, that doesn't sound like him, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, it was him. It was crazy.
And I always see him and go, who is he appealing to with his faux hawk? He doesn't even have like he's committed to nothing. He has no real permanent signs of rebellion. Everything is easily fixable. Just a haircut gets rid of his whole steez, all he has to do is get a haircut. Like, if he was all tatted up like his neck and stuff, I'd be like, all right, this guy's all crazy, but he's just some douche. I mean, he really is a douche. I mean, I don't even think he would disagree. Like, he's like a douche. He looks like a douche.
I've never met the man. And I've only seen 5 seconds of his show because that is the one thing that I never could get myself into is fishing. And I know you like to fish sometimes, Fred.
I like to fish, but I don't want to see someone fishing in a lake or something in New England. When it's cool to watch fishing, there's 2 times that I like to watch fishing. One is the Bassmaster Classic because their boats are $250,000, and I find it fascinating.
Those little bass boats?
Yep, they're insanely, and they go super fast. Like, they're really, really fast. I'll sound like an idiot if I say how fast they are, but they have some of them 5 engines on them.
What? Okay.
You would be blown away with how much a bass boat is. They're more than a speedboat or more than a cruiser or a pontoon boat.
But why do we need 5 engines on something where you're just going out into the middle of the lake?
Because
to fish?
they need to get spot to spot as fast as they can go. The bass boats for the competitions.
Okay.
Those guys are all sponsored. So those, and then of course when people are in exotic locales, I enjoy that. I don't drink anymore, but when I had been up all night or very hungover, and you turn on the World of Fishing, and he's in Fiji, fishing off of fishing for bonefish. You're like, all right, this is gonna get me through the morning. There is hope, and that hope is the guy fishing. Because I think you're right, Hardy. I don't think anyone's really watched Charlie Moore.
Here's 2024 Ranger Z521R. It's a brand new. It is a 21-foot bass boat, single engine. It can be yours right now for the low price of $114,760.
Yeah,
for a single engine 20-footer.
Yeah, so because I thought for a while that at my parents' house I'd get a bass boat, and then I looked and I'm like, there's no way I'm getting a bass boat. They're crazy. It's insane. And they're super light, and they can get into tight quarters because you have to have a trolling motor to get them out.
Yeah, but it's a 2-seater. That's it.
Yeah, it's because it's all deck. But they have to be maneuverable, super maneuverable, because you're getting ideally you're getting really close to shore and putting yourself in tight circumstances. You have to be able to use a trolling motor, and then you want to get to place really fast. They're super fast. You would be very surprised. Alex, go ahead.
So I played his good morning, guys. First-time caller. But I played his kid in a New England Regional Championship Town League football. I don't remember the exact town this kid played at for it, but he was the head coach of the team. And we smoked him, but you should have seen this guy on the sideline like an absolute maniac, ripping his hair out of his head. made an absolute fool of himself, and he's a 10, 12-year-old kid on the field. Same personality on the field as he is on TV. Absolute joke of himself.
Yeah, you can't
Thanks
fake
for taking
that.
the call.
Yeah, thank you. You can't fake that. You can't devote your life. It's been too long. It's 20 years of acting this way. You can't fake it. I mean, he's got to be 60 years old with the faux hawk.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
You got to figure he's 60 years old, right?
At the very least 50. So
Well, I'm 49. I hope he's older than me. Oh, he's only 53. I say only. 10 years ago, I'd be like, that mother effer's 53.
So he's been fishing since 33 on Nesson.
Probably been fishing before that. And is fishing even that popular up here? I don't know. It's certainly not Florida. Well, listen, the mind boggles. All right, Hardy, so much going on. The trade deadline is today at 6 o'clock. John foolishly led with the Dodgers part of that trade when it is unanimous that the Cardinals won that deal. But listen, some of us are front runners, and some of us, it's unanimous. The White Sox lost.
Well, that's true.
The Dodgers did okay.
The White Sox traded 2 pitchers for 3 infielders. Always really smart.
Yeah, and a lot of weirdness. And Tommy Edman might be hurt, so let's not go crazy about the Dodgers.
Would you like me to change it, Fred? Would you like me to change it to lead it with the Cardinals?
Listen,
I'll do that just for you today.
Listen, I can only point you in the right direction.
I see.
I can't make you do anything, John.
Okay.
John, this is a life for you to live.
Sure.
But your Boston Red Sox played today. We can dissect the Dodgers, White Sox, Cardinal trade in great detail.
Sox made a minor deal yesterday.
Yeah. And Tyler Milliken knew everything about it. Tyler Milliken's Johnny on the spot on Matt's
He has actual thoughts on that player acquired by the Red Sox.
Which I contend that there are general managers in Major League Baseball that would have to be briefed about him. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Nicholas.
He's taking in his fluids. He's doing the right thing.
Well, he was upstairs, so I don't know if that was fluids that have been. I'm not, taping him in the bathroom or anything. So let's not go crazy. But
Not anymore.
I know 2 people that have been fired for taping people in the bathroom on the radio.
Come on.
Really?
Swear to God, one of them, Larry Wax from the regular guys. There was a Spanish station, and there. It sounds funnier, I guess, than it was. But there were 2 of the guys from the Spanish station in the stalls speaking Spanish, and I guess they would do it all the time. They'd take duelers and speak back and forth in Spanish, and so Larry went in and taped them and played it on the air to see if anyone would translate it for him, to see if they were talking about him, like the Seinfeld episode.
Right.
And the guys from the Spanish station complained, and I guess it's like highly illegal to tape people in the bathroom, and even audio, and he was promptly fired. But yeah.
Okay, so that's not great, but it's
and
not,
Opie was from Opie and Anthony was fired for. These are all people that were hanging by a thread anyway, but Opie was fired for taping a guy in the bathroom too.
Audio taping.
Okay,
good. Because I mean, it's not good,
what?
But it's better than
what?
That's strange. We did the story about the guy on the flight attendant who had a camera set up in the lavatory of an airplane bathroom. I'm like, what kink is that? And it's a thing.
Well, it could be all of them.
It's all rolled into one.
All rolled into one. Whatever you're doing in there is okie dokie with me. But yeah, so 2 guys, Opie and Larry Wax, both shock jocks, fired for audio taping dudes in the bathroom. So you got to tread very lightly. Oh, and Dave and Chuck the Freak, because I listened to that History WRIF podcast. They got in a lot of trouble just for talking about someone being in the bathroom, but it wasn't an on-air personality. So just talking, they said, who's like the guy making all the smells, and they talked about it, and then the work got all nervous because obviously it was someone from the office that was making all the smells, and so they had done a bit like the mystery crapper or something, which is stolen right from my fraternity.
Well, I would tell them to if they really want to make an impact on that culture of people shaming other people going to the bathroom, listen to the midday show of this radio station. Zoe has made a cottage industry of paying attention to anything other than his own show, watching who goes in and out of the bathroom, and just keeping a running tally of who really blows it up in there.
I don't think that Zolak could get in trouble if he tried with management at this station. I honestly don't think that there's anything he could do to make our general manager angry enough or concerned enough to even talk to him sideways. I really don't. He is so beloved by
that
management.
whole birthday. I just keep coming back to that birthday celebration. I mean, it's on the monitors everywhere on this floor, and the big
I mean,
birthday
he's been embroiled in minor controversies, and I bet you that you were around. That I bet you there was nary a peep.
There wasn't a lot, but
no.
But the birthday celebration, John. What they had his picture up on the TVs, and what did they bring in some sandwiches or no? It's Capitol Grill. Excuse me.
Yes, it was Capitol Grill, Hardy.
Catered surf and turf.
The rest of us get like bagels.
What? I don't get anything for my
Capitol
birthday.
Grill.
Well, the worst was then I made fun of it, and then on my birthday there was this stupid, really kind of like backdoor insulting thing where they did something for me, and I'm like, all right.
I don't remember what they did.
They had some food here, and they put my name on the screen, but it was obviously like an FU to because I was talking about him.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't sincere. It was like, hey, screw you, bitching on the air.
I have a feeling that anyone who wants to celebrate you on their birthday, it's a no-win proposition. You're not going to be happy either way. They brought you food. They put your picture on the TV set. They
You-
get,
you-
they give
you
you
know-
exactly what Zoe got.
You know exactly why they did it, and you would have felt the same way as me. I'm not being overly cynical by saying that it was kind of like, hey, you want it so bad, Dick? Here you go.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that's what it was.
We wouldn't have done this if you hadn't opened up your
So what
yapper.
should they have done differently to make it authentic and good?
Done it for everyone. Have it be modus operandi. If you want my honest opinion,
Everybody gets a catered steak.
then don't do it for anyone. It's ridiculous that they did that for Zolak.
They like
it's insane.
him better than anyone else.
And that's not a good message to everyone else.
That's authentic.
Okay, so
That's true.
I know. Let's pretend.
He's got a point.
Well, management's job's not to be authentic. So let's put it this way. Say I'm not by any stretch of the imagination. I don't believe me. I'm not in charge of this show. But say I was. This is for the sake of conversation, or John was, or anyone was. And
Let's make it Nick.
Let's make it somewhat believable. And so, but let's make it Nick's birthday. And so every year for Nick's birthday, one of us threw him this gala in front of everyone. Like we did this hour-long party on the air for Nick.
Okay.
And then we just ignored the rest of everyone else's birthdays. And it wasn't funny or anything. It was just, Nick, you're the best. And Nick, I've got you all this stuff. And Nick, what a pal you are. And then for the rest of everyone else's birthdays, we just ignored them. My thing would be, well, then don't do it for anybody. It didn't bother me. I thought it was funny. I've also got to kill 20 hours of radio time, but I did find it a little just like, oh, Jesus Christ, when they did it for me. I'm like, all right, like I'm having some fun on the radio. Like you don't have to like throw it back in my face. And they were like, see what we did? See, because you bitched about it?
Well,
I didn't care for it.
Never know what's going to set you off, you know? They're just trying to cover all the bases.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
I might go bonkers.
That's silly.
I might start taping people in the bathroom.
You are the wild card.
So right. Real crazy guy. So I'll tell you this, don't tape people in the bathroom. If you're looking to get into even podcasting.
You take nothing else from this conversation.
This is just life advice.
If you're even one of the millions and millions of people podcasting, don't resort to taping people in the bathroom.
All right.
You're going to get in hot water.
Wallach, since you were at the game last night,
Yes.
why don't you set up what was going on in the third inning when Abreu came to the plate?
Scoreless game, third inning.
Wrong. It was 1-0 Red Sox.
I was just
Jesus
getting to that
Jones.
inning entirely, Hardy.
Oh,
we were going to lead up to it.
The whole
yes.
inning.
Scoreless, heading to the bottom of the third inning. Red Sox have a runner on third base. A wild pitch by Logan Gilbert scores a run with Willie Abreu at the plate.
Right.
Okay. Willie Abreu falls in the hole 0-2. Battles back to 2-2. Gilbert thought he had Abreu struck out with pitch 5 of the at-bat.
Ball 2 strikes.
Wow, perfect pitch. Wow. Long hold didn't get the call. Andy Fletcher.
That is the call from Seattle television.
It's
which
riveting
is really
stuff.
Good.
But there's a reason we're bringing this up,
was
Fred.
on singles.
The reason we're bringing this up, Abreu proceeds to battle to a full count, foul off 5 pitches, and then lines a single.
How many numbers did that play-by-play guy get? When did he pick up the clown? That's Eric Stoltz. These are all references to the movie Singles set in Seattle. It's very clever. Yeah.
I'm working on the traffic problem. Good. I'm a maitre d'. Oh, that's cool. I work for Boeing. Woo, woo, woo.
That's I get a semi whenever anyone talks about that movie because for 10 years that was what I put on when I brought someone back to my place.
Hell yeah.
In college and then out of college, that is a movie. I've done it as an adult. You put on Singles.
Yeah.
It's nice and slow. Not too much happens.
Yeah.
It kind of looks cool.
It's got Kira Sedgwick.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Was Kira part of the bracket?
No, should have been.
No, she's married to Kevin Bacon out of respect to the Bacon Bros.
Yeah.
Who are offered, every year we're offered the Bacon Brothers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
You
Abreu,
can't take them because they got the other guy with them.
Abreu singles in after a 12-pitch at bat. He singles in a run to make it 2-0.
13.
And then the floodgates open. Masataka Yoshida, 425-foot home run, double.
Toil in trouble.
Yes. 4 doubles in a row. All of a sudden, 7 runs are in, and the Red Sox win the game.
And now they.
And after 3 innings, they just called it? Was it a mercy rule?
7-0, but the game was basically over.
So John Bonham was there on a Monday night.
Yep.
He got free tickets, and he was bragging about how good the tickets were. But I would contend on a Monday night you could sit wherever you want.
Not last night.
It was packed.
Oh,
a lot
it
of
was-
Mariner fans?
It was packed. No, with Red Sox fans last night.
Really?
Yes.
On a Monday night?
Yes,
Ah.
on a Monday night. And you were, I sent a picture. Yeah, the last time I went to the game, I sent a picture to the both of you about what the stands look like. They were
Right.
about 30% full 10 minutes before first pitch. Not the case last night.
That's
place
nice.
Place was jammed last night.
Oh, that's good.
So
Well, I
you
don't,
got
I
free-
don't like that so much.
You got free tickets to the game. Where's your Instagram video about the experience?
I know, I'm
you
sorry.
You got to pay that off.
I'm sorry. I didn't post it.
You haven't posted it yet?
I did not.
You got to do it this morning.
I know.
You were supposed to do it last night.
How the hell are we supposed to even know that you were there?
I know.
You didn't even check in from there.
I know.
I didn't know that you were at the game until this morning. That's not right.
Nick Pivetta on the mound for the Red Sox last night, but going back to what Wallach just breathlessly described to us as in that 7-run in third inning.
I think Abreu's bat stands out really big. You know, it really got those guys in it. Dory being out that ground ball double play. You know, I just think that's how we play baseball games. It's on all the time, and you know, seeing those guys play really hard just made me want to get in the dugout as soon as I can every single time.
Pivetta 6 2/3, 3 runs on 6 hits. 14-7 the final for your Boston Red Sox. Hello. There you go.
1 game out of a playoff spot. With the deadline coming up at 6 p.m. today, made a small trade yesterday, Hardy.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that next. And
Not
then,
highly graded.
And then I'm gonna let you two dorks argue back and forth about this 3-team deal with the Dodgers. And
No,
the Red
no,
Sox
3-team deal with the Cardinals. 3-team deal with the Cardinals.
Cardinals, Dodgers, and White Sox.
Cardinals, Dodgers, White Sox.
I know, but you have to mention the Cardinals first. We just went over this.
Oh,
No. You didn't mention the Cardinals at all.
I know,
You
but-
said the Dodgers, so don't. You're gaslighting again.
I'm sorry. We still haven't got a definition for that.
Yeah,
Well-
you did. You got it. Well, you weren't here. You got it yesterday.
We will have real analysis from a real baseball expert. We have the audio of Tyler Milliken's cousin's cousin breaking down this prospect that the Red Sox acquired yesterday.
You save that for 7:20
Oh.
because I really want to lay into this
Okay.
kid.
Okay. All right.
I want to put him in his place.
Well, we'll fumble around the edges of it, like, you know, the simps that
Well,
we
I know
are.
who York is. That I know. He was a big prospect for them.
He was the first-round draft pick of Chaim Bloom.
Yeah, I know who he is, but I contend that no one knows. I contend that I would bet anything. I'd give you huge odds that there are general managers in baseball that would have to be briefed by their scouts about who the pitcher was, let alone someone, just some douche in Boston. Not that Tyler Milliken's cousin's a douche, but not just. I should just say some. I got to watch what I say.
TMCC. Hashtag TMCC knows.
Just some jabroni here that just happens to like baseball. Let's be honest. Let's not. I mean, I don't care for the posing. All right.
I don't think it's a pose. I think he knows. I think it bothers you that he knows way more than you.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
There it is.
I mean, look at the guy.
Oh.
Nips for trips. You don't think that guy knows what he's doing? He's cheapening himself. You don't see Buster Only showing his nuts every time there's a home run.
Not in a long time.
No, not since the 60s.
Not since MySpace.
You know, because I used to show my balls. I remember when I was back when the Grateful Dead were the Warlocks. Before they were the Grateful Dead, me and Pigpen used to sword fight. All right, we'll be right back.
Sports Hub headline.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. We are brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. The Red Sox made a deal yesterday. The trade deadline is 6 o'clock tonight, and the Red Sox made themselves a deal. They received... they got rid of a redundancy in their system, and then they received some help, some pitching help, Hardy and Wallach.
Yes.
Quinn Priester is the prospect they got back. Now, you, Fred, are willing to admit that you know nothing of Quinn Priester.
No, and I've watched Pittsburgh probably 4 or 5 times this year. No, I don't know anything about them. They have two, but I know why Pittsburgh's dealing pitching and why they're making moves is because even though they're right in the wild card race, they have innings restrictions on their best pitchers, so they're not going to be able to pitch in September anyway. So they're sellers. Because a lot of people in Pittsburgh are frustrated that they're selling, but they can't see the forest through the trees. Because, there's inning restrictions on their 2 best pitchers, and they're not going to be able to pitch.
Well,
and even if they made the postseason, they'd be screwed because they wouldn't have anybody to pitch.
Priester has pitched in the majors each of the last 2 seasons. Started 16 of 20 appearances. 6.46 ERA across 94 and 2/3 innings.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't strike out guys. That's the thing. In a day and age where you're trying to strike out at least one batter an inning, doesn't strike out a lot of guys. 31 strikeouts in 44 and 2/3 innings. Not exactly the power arm you were hoping for. But then again, you traded a AAA middle infielder for him, so I don't know what you were expecting.
Now, as Anthony Franco said, he hasn't had the most auspicious start to his major league career, but he isn't far removed from being one of the top pitching prospects in the sport. He was 18th overall out of high school in the 2019 draft.
Yep.
Yeah, and York was right around the same place the next year.
Surprised, though. He was overdrafted, a lot of people thought.
Oh, God, yes.
But
I
now,
remember when it was.
Yeah,
Yes.
but now Nick York is, I guess, going to platoon right away. So if you're Nick York, you got to be psyched because now he's going to get a chance. I guess he's going to platoon at second base.
Yes.
His natural position. They were moving him around too much in the minors. Trying to make him an outfielder. How dare you?
Kind of Wallach's point here. Some scouts say that that they're not sure about the quality of Priester's fastball, whether he had enough movement to miss bats.
Well, that's good that he was. They took him out of high school.
Not a lot of swing and a miss.
Wouldn't you say if you were taking an 18-year-old kid that hadn't even grown fully that you would want to know there's a pretty good raw ability there?
Mm-hmm.
Like that. I mean, if I'm going to take a kid that young, which is a lot more rare than it used to be, but if I'm taking an 18-year-old kid, now that I have a 16-year-old kid and a 14-year-old kid, you have no idea, like 16-year-olds what they're going to be, an 18-year-old what they're going to be. If some kid was throwing like 99 and had crazy raw talent, then I would take him. But I'd let him get 3 years of college baseball under his belt before I took him.
Hence the trend in the direction you were just talking about.
Right. It's too much of a guessing game. You don't know. And then a lot of 18-year-olds, I bet you can put on 20 pounds of muscle between 18 and 21.
Yeah, Priester's sinker and four-seamer sit around 93 miles an hour and have been hit hard by Major League.
Yeah, if you're topping out in the low 90s with your fastball, I think the word crafty tends to come into mind. Crafty right-hander.
Well, then it's location and movement.
Other stuff.
That's right.
Then it's location and movement.
He'll fool you. He'll fool you a lot.
I contend that there's too much emphasis put on velocity right now. That any Major League player can catch up with velocity. It's location and command.
Jerry Trupiano taught me that, Fred. Pitching, it's like real estate, Hardy. Location, location, location.
So what was sad is that the voice of your Boston Red Sox on the radio, he got the Ford Frick Award. He just got into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Great honor for the man. I've heard nothing but nice things about him. And they were doing like a memories of him, kind of half-assed in the Globe. And they talked to people that had been in the booth with him, the Sean McDonoughs of the world, these people. And then it's Jerry Trupiano. And he was in there for a lot longer than I'd assumed.
Oh, yeah.
And
he and Joe worked together for years.
And then he was just slumming it here at our radio station with Hardy on the weekends. How old do you think Trupiano was when he was doing weekends with you?
I don't know. I 60 maybe.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
Well, I mean, they had a great career play-by-play. He kept doing play-by-play.
But he still wanted to
college
do
basketball. Yeah, he wanted to keep doing it. I think he would have rather kept working for the Red Sox. I think that was probably his.
But he would have taken anything,
wish.
right? Probably at the end.
Anything. I mean, within.
I mean, he wouldn't have worked at the Glass Slipper, but Tattletales, if they wanted a DJ, hey,
No.
come on the stage.
I don't know.
It's your feature performer, Maxie Mounds.
Yeah. I don't know if he was going to go do play-by-play for an ultimate game, which I desperately want to do. It's the one glaring hole on my resume. Never done play-by-play. Fred, I'm sure you've never done play-by-play.
I couldn't do play-by-play. I could do
I could do color for an ultimate game. I think I could go do that today. And just somebody put me in.
Mm-hmm.
You got to not shower for at least a few days to get that.
Here we go. Why did you say that?
That is.
Why did you say that? Because now it's 10 minutes in another direction.
No, it's just unfair, and it is an antiquated notion of what ultimate players are like. They're the athletes like anyone else, not some hippy-dippy thing like you saw in the Jeremy Piven vehicle PCU where they're playing ultimate. That's a different era. Bygone era.
Are you disc golf or are you ultimate frisbee?
First of all, it's just ultimate. Frisbee is a brand name owned by the Whammo Corporation, and you don't even use that brand when you're playing ultimate in most leagues. You use the Discraft UltraStar 175-gram Ultimate Sport Disc.
I was having a conversation
Thanks,
with two
Fred.
people about sports recently, and one of the people in the conversation was like, like as a kid, I was really a serious athlete. This just happened. I was really a serious athlete. I was a big ultimate frisbee player.
Yeah.
And I went,
That was me you were talking to.
I was a big Tiddlywinks player. It was they have practices right by my house, like within where I can see.
It's probably someone in the Buddha League, the Boston Ultimate Disc Alliance. It's one of the largest collections of ultimate players in the world.
But they
Buddha.
put out cones and they do
drills.
It's a leisure activity.
No.
And they go out and without the frisbee, they go run around cones. And
You understand
stuff.
the difference between going out in the yard and having a catch with your old man, Adam 12 style, and participating in the World Series? Do you understand the difference between those two?
I would question why they're practicing
answer
on
my
a
question,
residential
please.
Field.
Would you answer my question?
Yes, I would.
Yes.
But I'd answer it with another question. Do teams playing in the World Series practice at community parks?
They did before they made it to the World Series, yes. Now, that team practicing in your community park, I don't think they're headed to nationals. I don't think they're going down to Sarasota.
Well, then I would question why they're doing non-frisbee drills.
Sounds right.
You just made that up, didn't you?
I mean...
Sarasota, you just completely made that up.
I did go to nationals once as a spectator, and it was in Sarasota, so I just...
So you don't know if it's there every year.
I have a serious
Different
question. I'm not being
cities bid for the
sarcastic.
rights.
Yes.
I'm not being sarcastic. Was there a time when in the ultimate frisbee community there was a belief that it was going to be like the next big thing?
No.
Oh.
But...
the next spectator sport, like it was going to get a TV deal, because there's always that moment with something new, like the bounce ball, the slam
Spike
ball,
ball. Spike ball.
I mean, that made it on TV. Like people thought that was going to be something, and then I bought it. I'm like, this game doesn't even make sense.
Well, it's like the pickleball thing right now, and how they're going to build pickleball courts on Boston Common, and they're going to do this, that, and the other. I'm like, why don't you build a racquetball court while you're at it? Why don't
squash?
Yeah. Why don't you do squash and jazzercise studios? The pickleball's fun. I've played it. It's great. I would not invest myself in a multi-million-dollar pickleball facility.
You can only play racquetball now if you have a robot and slick back hair. Racquetball in the 80s was the sign of great financial success. Like if you were playing racquetball, and there were several movies. Wall Street's one of them, but there was a bunch of movies where
Splash.
Yeah, they're showing like the success of the guy based on the fact that they're playing racquetball. Like one of these guys has got some cash.
Well, Tom Hanks and John Candy, they were successful produce wholesalers, and that's how they spent time playing racquetball.
John Candy drinking beers during the racquetball thing, right?
He brought the cooler right into the court.
Mm.
He sat down on it when he got tired. He's a big fella.
And he died before he was 40.
Well, you didn't have to bring that up necessarily. All right, so how much you want to talk about this Cardinals trade?
Well,
Cardinals,
I think there's
Dodgers, White
a
Sox.
perfect amount of time to talk about this Cardinals trade.
Yeah, we got 1 minute. Go.
Yes, the Cardinals made a deal. They got they needed pitching. And
Eric Fetty.
Yeah, they got Eric Fetty, who is, unlike what the Red Sox did, is a major league quality pitcher.
And Tommy Pham.
And they got Tommy Pham, who's a beautiful full circle story. Because Pham
fifth time he's been traded in 6 years.
Well, Pham was blocked in the Cardinals organization, so he got up a little later than expected. And then the Dodgers got Tommy Edman, who's a great utility guy, but he's hurt. He's been hurt for a long time, so they don't know when he'll get healthy. And the White Sox got garbage in return.
The White Sox traded Michael Kopech, who was closing for them for a while. They traded Eric Fetty.
Well, you remember Kopech because he was part of the Chris Sale deal.
That's right. And so Kopech, who's always had a great arm but has never really fulfilled
Can't
his
put it
potential.
together, Johnny boy.
Never fulfilled his potential. They traded Eric Fetty, who was a serviceable major league starter, if not a little bit better than that.
He's better than serviceable.
And then they got 3 minor league infielders. Just a brilliant trade, trading 2 pitchers for infielders.
White Sox, who have lost 15 straight games, they are 27-82.
They have a chance. That team has a chance to be the worst Major League Baseball team of all time.
That's interesting.
That team. I think the record is like the 1962 Mets, who won 40 or 41 games.
When people talk about that team.
I think the White Sox could come in under that.
Well, maybe they'll win a World Series in a miracle 7 years later.
They're 38 and a half games out.
Yeah.
Well, that's a very competitive division. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Party brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. You can watch us on YouTube. Search 98.5 The Sports Hub and watch us on YouTube. It's one of the 5 million ways you can access the show. While everyone figures out technology. The generation after us might have it under control, but right now it's moving too fast for people. All right, Mike Lockhart knows what's going to get my attention. He just sent me something, and I can wait no longer to share it with you. And I want to do a social experiment. I'm not going to tell you what it is until after. I'm going to read you the article, and then I'm going to unveil what my social experiment was.
Okay.
French Olympic diver, light as a feather, stiff as a board. Olympics bulge bonanza. A French diver is going viral at the 2024 Olympics, not just for his aquatic skills, but for proving size might in fact matter, but so does the cut of your swim trunks. Excitable fans went wild online over Jules Boyer at the Paris Games, sharing pics of the soaked springboard diver after one of his recent events, mainly to highlight his bulge, which is making a big splash despite his teeny-weeny swimsuit. A key angle of Boyer from the side gives fans an up-close and personal view of his junk in the trunk. Now, that's not right.
No, that is...
And it's something that they should know better.
That is, they're written by somebody who does know what junk in the trunk means.
Yeah, that means fanny, not wee-wee.
Wallach is most offended by that, but go ahead.
Which certainly thrilled international audiences.
Well, you love a big ass, John. That's well documented.
Yes.
But this isn't the first time he's made everyone go wild at the Olympics. Just days earlier, he dove into the spotlight with a welcome to Paris eye candy pic alongside diving partner Alex Gendard, both teasing a peek at what's underneath their tiny swimsuits. And safe to say, folks are impressed. With JB's hunky good looks and undeniable physical attributes, it's no shocker.
This sounds like Hustler.
With JB's hunky good looks and ability to take a lot of pain and undeniable physical attributes, it's no shocker Ford models in Paris gave him on their books, proving he's got the whole package. BTW, Jules ain't the only swimmer turning heads at the 2024 Olympics. Dutch swimmer Arno Kaminga's flesh-colored bottoms have viewers wondering if he was rocking a nude look at the games. We got to say, Jules here might have him beat. So, I think I know the answer, and it's disappointing to me. Have you guys gone and looked at this gentleman?
I knew what the experiment was as you were doing it, and instead I decided to focus on what you were saying, but I can't wait to Google it.
Yeah, because not only, because I got the article sent to me, but I couldn't start focusing in on his unit fast enough. I found myself expanding it because I wanted to see what was doing. And the only thing I can figure is in one of the photos, he tucked it up, which can be a very misleading thing. If you move everything up, you know what I'm saying, because then it's not all one thing. It's a mishmash of garbage, as so many women have put it to me. What you got down there is just a mishmash of garbage.
How are we spelling his last name?
I'll do that for the audience as well. If everyone
Jules,
would like to look
Jules,
at this man's swimsuit, it's his bulge bonanza. His name is Jules Bouyer. Are there any other gentlemen out there, 617-779-0985, when they heard this story, immediately went to their phones or computers to see what was doing, to just see how big this thing was? Did you, Daniel? You did not. Did you, Jonathan?
I have not, but I did ask Mike if he was a swimmer or a diver. So I was in the process of.
You were in the process of gathering information.
I did look.
All right, so John, you did look.
I did look.
Now, did you?
John is looking now. I can see over John.
No, I have.
I can see over your shoulder.
Okay.
I have it in front of me. But
Did you zoom in?
Yeah.
Yeah. So did I.
I did.
Isn't that interesting?
Yep.
That you would think that as a heterosexual man, you would not be interested, but for some reason, I'm enthralled by if everyone in these suits, and then if I'm someone else who's a diver or swimmer in a Speedo, and they're not talking about my penis, aren't you a little offended that this guy? But I'm looking at it, and the guy that's next to him in the dual photo, looks like he's got more going on. You see how it's pointed to the right? His right.
He's got it slung over his left hip.
Which one is Jules, on the left-hand side or the right-hand side?
The guy on the right-hand side is not Jules.
Okay, the guy on the left-hand side is Jules.
Yeah,
Okay.
but don't you think the guy on the right-hand side looks like he's packing more?
Yes. I see your point.
Oh, you think it's over?
It's a pretty close race, though.
Oh, it's the kind of neck and neck that I'm all about. I'd buy both of these stallions. But you say it's over his left hip. I think it's over his right hip. Is it that big?
So
that it's over both hips?
This is a cautionary statement here, one that we've made before. Once you search this on Twitter, don't scroll down too far. Once you get to the end of the Jules Boyer photos, stop, because then you're going to get into other stuff.
Hello,
people who are just putting those words in their post to get you to look at them too.
Well, are they nice looking?
Yeah, but there's nothing. This is work related. Now you get up to this guy, and now he's just posting, something.
Yeah, there's. I can imagine. I can't see it from here, but I can imagine.
I know it's driving me crazy. What's going on? But
over there.
As soon as I heard about this story, I couldn't start looking fast enough and zooming.
I think it's unfair for the Twitter handle known as French Twink Studios to somehow tag themselves and attach themselves to the John Boyer phenomenon by posting their own video, which has nothing to do with John Boyer.
Well, it's got everything to do with penis.
Okay, I'm gonna just close the window.
I mean, once you've searched for Jules Boyer. So if I am the person that if I'm Alex Gennard, I am thinking, just because I'm shorter and not as attractive as Jules, why is my penis not being put in the same category as Jules?
I think he's got a better body. He appears to be more cut. He's.
I think he's more. I think he's more cut hardy. I think that's a fact. But,
maybe even more handsome.
No.
How are these?
Jules is a good 6 inches taller and has got nice full lips.
So you think tall somehow is attractive?
I don't think. I know it's an evolutionary instinct. You want to make it with people that you think are going to produce the tallest people.
Nah, really tall people don't live that long. It's not a great thing.
Well, no, look at freaks don't.
Look at the sad tale of Robert Wadlow. I remember reading about him in my Guinness Book of World Records.
Is that a Ripley's Believe It or Not guy with the glasses?
That was the Guinness guy in the suit and the glasses. Yeah, he was real tall. He died very young.
That was very Trump of you.
What about?
He was very tall, died very young.
That was very sad.
Very sad. He was not the best. He was not a good guy, but it was very sad.
Enjoyed many French fries.
He had many French fries. He was very tall, too tall, really.
Yeah.
Perfect height is 6'4". That's the perfect height.
I was at the doctor. They told me my height was perfect. It was the
they
perfect
said,
height.
don't grow 1 more inch. Even a centimeter more would be too much.
Right. The problem with this Jules Boyer. Thank you.
Yeah, we're guessing Boyer because he's French.
Wouldn't that be a hindrance in diving? You don't want much of a splash when you're going in.
Well, obviously
and that hog
not.
is going to
drag coefficient when you are flipping.
Get Tony P on the phone.
The drag coefficient is a great point, John. I didn't even think about that when you're doing your loop-de-loops,
That's right.
which is what they're called. I've been watching diving. Loop-de-loops.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a loop-de-loop special that they do, and there's
you have to compensate to
dives.
go straight in the water. You have to compensate based on the turn. Yes.
Well, not only that, but he's going to have to go in kind of like a little too far beyond vertical to make up for what that hog is going to be doing.
You don't want the
when it hits
hog
the
hitting
water.
first.
He's had that hog his whole life. He knows how to deal with it. He knows how to maneuver in the air. But the thing is you ever been aroused in a non appropriate situation, and you have to tuck yourself into the band of your pants?
Like it goes up that far. No, silly. I mean, yes, I have.
No, it doesn't. You don't have to have much, but especially if you're wearing a Speedo, you would really just have to have something. But I mean, but if he gets aroused,
yeah, it's game over.
I mean, you're tucking, you're showing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Is this guy's Olympics
I told
over? Or
you
do we
this-
get a chance
is-
to watch more of them?
This is the last I'm going to speak of this topic.
Doubtful.
But when I was in 6th grade, we shared a locker room with the high school. It was a middle school, high school. It was Detroit Country Day. And you know that the shorts that you wear under shorts, like the supportive shorts, they're spandex.
Yeah, the biker shorts.
They go lower than the cut of your shorts.
Yeah. Were you Mormon also?
There was a guy. No, he was a basketball player, and he put on his shorts, the athletic shorts. He had the athletic shorts on, and then he had the basketball shorts. The athletic shorts hung probably mid thigh. Whoopsie daisy went all S and had to tuck it back in.
And that man's name was Chris Webber.
No, but I have seen Chris Webber naked, and and Dennis Rodman naked, and they had nothing to be ashamed of.
I wouldn't think.
Dennis Rodman was sitting in a sauna on the second shelf, and his feet in something else were on the first shelf. I walked in and Dennis Rodman was naked. It was at 1-on-1. It was the same place Fedorov and Kornikova used to go to. It was I swear to God this is true. And I don't know what the hell Dennis Rodman was doing there. It was before the tattoos and everything else. And I was with my friend Jay, best man at my wedding. And we had just played basketball. We went into the sauna. We opened up the door and Dennis Rodman's in there naked. And I just walked right out. Mm-hmm. I said that, nope.
Yeah.
I don't need to be.
I don't know who this room is.
emasculated.
I don't know who this room is for, but I'm not me.
Yeah, I don't need this. I've seen enough.
Yeah.
I know the difference between him and I, and it was like shocking. But even as a 6th grader, I saw something that I knew I was inferior, and I spent the rest of my life trying to get rid of this false narrative that women like that kind of thing.
And then to compensate.
Oh, sure, yeah. That's when I started being all cynical and cutting. That's when I started insulting everyone. Is I realized that I could never measure up to that. That everyone had one over on me. But there you go. But to answer your question, yes, I have seen Chris Webber naked. And I have seen Dennis Rodman naked. And if you're wondering what to put in my obituary, I just gave it to you.
Second graph. You don't want to lead with that.
No. And you can just say, the pump worked well into his life. Because I just need to attach the pump.
Do you think you've reached a level of notoriety where the Boston Globe has an obituary pre-written for you?
No.
Oh.
No, but when we don't finish number 1, they have that article written.
That one's written
because there will that will be a big story. There will be no story until that story, but that will be a big story. That one is already written.
Yeah,
I'm sure and been fantasized about. All right, we will be back in just a moment to talk about this Red Sox trade in lying, basically, just liars, posers, liars. We will have that for you in just a moment. Is this like Accept?
This is Metallica, Fred. Song's called Now That We're Dead.
Oh, is this from
72
Seasons?
I thought this was from St. Anger.
If it ain't Load, I ain't got time for Metallica.
I like the SNL.
Yeah, so boy.
Symphony of Metallica. Come on, Fred.
I don't mean to be overly negative, but when I was at 99X in Atlanta, we played a lot of that.
In town next week?
Symphony of Metallica. I don't mind Metallica.
It's a Gillette, right? Coming to Gillette?
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, yeah. In the round. In 2 shows.
Or is it this week?
I'm going Friday night.
I've seen Metallica a few times, and I told you the story about remember the show they did with the tour they did with Korn and Kid Rock and Power Man 5000. Do you recall that?
Yes, by the way, that was from Hardwired to Self-Destruct 2017. Go ahead.
Okay. I didn't even know that was an album by them. I kind of lost track of them after the Reload, which was the pinnacle of their career. And so they did this big tour. They played the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, Georgia. Mm-hmm. And our station was the presenter. That is the show that I did my favorite interview ever, which was the guy from Power Man 5000 when he was
Spider One.
He
from
was
Haverhill, Mass.
He was in character the whole time, and I said, "You were from the future. Let's do a Back to the Future thing, where you give me a bunch of people who win the World Series, and I'll go make bets on it, and we'll split the money." And then he was like, and I'm like, "No, who wins the Super Bowl in 2024?" And he's like, "All right, dude." And I'm like, No, seriously. And then he actually started laughing, which made it somewhat enjoyable for me. But James Hetfield was wakeboarding. If you want to know how rich these guys are, before a show in front of legit 65,000 people, James Hetfield was at a lake an hour north of the city wakeboarding during the day, which all credit to him. But isn't that fun? Like, what are you doing during the day? Oh, I'm just gonna go. Like, I got a buddy with a boat out on the lake, and I'm just gonna wakeboard around, and then drive an hour back and perform and make $1 million.
And not only that much money and that much ability to do that stuff, because other bands aren't going to be allowed to do that. No, you got to be at sound check. You got to do this stuff. But you're Metallica. A, I can do whatever I want. And B, I can go out there and give a phenomenal show because I've done this 10,000 times. Yeah, I'll be fine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't need to practice.
Well, no, like every other band except for maybe 5 is killing the day. Lucky if they got a room the night before, if they didn't sleep in the van or on someone's floor, and then they're like just walking around town trying not to do drugs.
So
anyway, let me just finish the story. So,
yeah.
So Hetfield hurt himself and couldn't do the show. And they said, "Will you go up and announce that Metallica can't play?" And I went, "Absolutely not. I'm not doing it." And I ran out of the stadium. And so anyway, someone else from the station who's braver than I did it. And then they were like, "Dude, you made such a mistake leaving." And I said, "Why?" And they said, "Well, Kid Rock, Korn, and Power Man 5000 all went up and did Metallica songs." And I went, "Oh my God, I can't believe I missed it." I'm sure the crowd was all satisfied too.
I mean,
I came here those Heshers that came to see Metallica, and you got Korn up there. I don't think so.
Not to mention, as good as some of the musicians might be in the Twisted Brown Trucker Band or even in Korn, I don't know that they have the chops to pull off Metallica, which ain't exactly, high art, but songs are tougher to play than the Power Man 5000 songs.
If you're Fieldy, who's a real piece of garbage from Korn, I defy him to play those Cliff Burton bass lines.
Robert Trujillo is like a legitimate, really good bass player.
Absolutely.
So
as was Jason Newsted.
Yes,
but I mean, Cliff Burton was
Kirk Hammett. Kirk Hammett can play.
Well, Kirk Hammett's a good guy, and Kirk Hammett also loves horror films, and he, along with Jonathan Davis, had a traveling horror film. His collection that he took on the road,
of course,
which he took me on a personal tour of.
Oh, lucky you. Well,
no, but that wasn't the funny one. The best one was Jonathan Davis from Korn. They did like the Oddball tour or some nonsense, And Jonathan Davis is a nice guy. But he's like, allow me to take you into it. They're like, Jonathan wants to take, it wasn't because it was me, but in every city he wanted to take someone from the presenting radio station and take him on a tour of his personal collection of memorabilia.
Yeah.
And so I went,
taking
all
a
right.
tour of my inventory of the macabre.
Exactly. So there's this trailer, and Jonathan's like, are you ready? And I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. And he goes, look at this photo. Innocent enough? Yes. John Wayne Gacy. And now looking back, and then there's like, these are cuffs that like some serial killer used. And looking back, I'm like, John Wayne Gacy was a pedophilic murderer.
Yeah.
Like and was still alive at the time.
Right.
And you were purchasing art from the man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then showing it off.
Right.
Now, I don't have a, look, your art is your art, man. I can't tell you what to appreciate and what not to appreciate. I mean, it was it was a drawing of clowns. It wasn't pornographic or anything. So, look at, do whatever you want. But looking back but it was pretty funny. He's like, He's like, here's that, like, whatever, like the hair of the gypsy killer. And you're like, huh? And he's like, well. And it was in a trailer, so there wasn't that much stuff. It was pretty funny. But he was really nice. And, like, he was big band and everything. He's like, I'm not. And you're like, all right, dude. And then this time, it was summer. So one time I had to go to court because I had an open container charge. And I had to go interview Marilyn Manson before I went to court. And court was downtown, and he was playing the Tabernacle. This was before he was huge. He was pretty big, but it was before. It was for Sweet Dreams era. So, so they go, you got to go interview Marilyn Manson, and I didn't care for Marilyn Manson, and so I'm like, all right. And so they take me in this room, and it's super dark. And he's got candles lit, and he's in full makeup.
Yeah.
And there's like the dude in like the nurse's outfit with like clown makeup on, and they're really small. Like the guitar player's like 3 apples high, and here's Marilyn Manson. He's all like dorky, and I come in, and he's like, sit, buff. And he's like, look at you, loser. He's like, you're in a suit. And he's like, what kind of? And he's like making fun of me, and I'm like, I gotta go to court, dude. He's like, oh. And I'm like, I have to go to court. He's like, and I'm like, it's nothing cool. It's an open container charge. And my entire interview was explaining to him why I was in a suit. He's like, square. He's like, and I'm a dork.
Yeah. Go cover a Eurythmics song.
Or go like keep more women hostage.
Yeah, exactly.
He's another guy that's not so great. So anyway, I digress. I apologize for taking that train. But someone says Metallica, and one must spin yarns. The Red Sox, your Boston Red Sox, where Jonathan was at the game last night against the pitch-heavy Mariners, the pitcher-heavy Mariners. Now, what happened, Jonathan? They made a trade. People are very excited about the trade deadline. What did they do?
They made a small deal, and we've talked a lot about it on the show. They have a lot of redundancy at middle infield. You got a lot of middle infielders who are all not going to be able to play, so why not deal some of them? What they don't have is minor league pitching. They don't have pitching that is even close to coming up to the majors, so they traded a minor league middle infielder, Nick York, a former first-round pick, to Pittsburgh for Quinn Priester, who has recently reached the majors. Hardy talked about it earlier. He has not had a lot of success in some stints, both last season and this season, in the majors, but he is something the Red Sox don't have, which is minor league pitching that is major league capable.
Okay, so MassLive.com, Dan sent the article. I like when people do this, and it's people from both markets analyzing the trade. And so this is good on Mass Live for doing this. But I do have an issue. And Hardy, you have the audio of it. Now, Tyler Milliken's cousin's cousin, Tyler Milliken, is somehow found a niche by being a fan of one of the 4 major sports, the third biggest of the 4 majors. There's this cottage industry now that if you're under the age of 50 and like baseball enough and talk about it, you've got a position somewhere.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm going to read what he said too. But is this on the midday show or when is this his Section 10 podcast? What he's saying this somewhere here. It doesn't really matter. Here's Tyler Milliken's cousin's cousin.
Milliken, what do you know about this guy?
This is from the midday show.
How do you know?
Thanks, Hardy.
How would you know that?
Thank you.
Dumbass, don't talk about what you don't know. Go ahead.
Bertrand yelling from Foxborough. Milliken back here in the studio.
They just love because you could just put Milliken, put it in neutral and let Milliken take the wheel.
Come on, Milliken.
Yeah, so with the Pirates rotation, the conversation obviously with Paul Skeens, Jared Jones.
All right, stop it. Here's what he's doing. He's buying time by talking about the young pitchers that we all know, who, by the way, are on inning restrictions, which is why the Pirates are getting rid of Major League talent.
Paul Skeens, Jared Jones, and everything they've had going on there. Mitch Keller, they've kind of filled out that rotation. Luis Ortiz as well. He was kind of the arm.
He's typing, and he went to look at the depth chart. Don't you agree?
Sounds that way. It sounds like a big wind-up for this.
He doesn't know the starting rotation of the Pittsburgh Pirates. He named 2 starters off the top of his head, which we all could name. Go ahead.
Luis Ortiz as well. He was kind of the arm on the outside. That's really the best way to describe it. It's a 5.04 ERA, 4.81 FIP this year. He's not missing bats.
Okay, he's full of crap. Here's what he said in the Mass Live thing. Quinn Priester doesn't fill the hunger for a significant addition, but it's an intriguing to add a top 100 guy from at MLB Pipeline to the lab. He doesn't know who the hell this guy is. He doesn't know at all, and he should have just admitted it. I contend that more than half the Major League Baseball GMs would have to be briefed on who this guy is, that they would have scouts. There's people in the organization that know who he is, but there's no, you've talked to baseball general managers. They don't know everyone on every team. It's a ludicrous notion that someone from an AL market would know the 5th spot starter for the Pirates. A kid who was relieved in games 2 this year. No one knows who this is. Why don't you just admit you don't know and that you're just reading crap? You understand what I'm saying?
Well,
just go let me read what he's about.
Let's see if there's some opinion mixed in here.
Decent control, big ground ball guy, 90th percentile. I wonder if this is an arm Bailey kind of targets here. And it's no surprise it's Nick York going out. They had to move one of these second base options, and he's been up for a trade for years. We saw Hine continue to hold on to him. But this is an arm apparently Bailey likes, and he can be flexible whether you want to put him in the rotation or the bullpen. But this feels like a bullpen move, and you see if you can kind of catch fire with him.
Okay, so there you go. Quinn Priester.
All right.
This is an arm Bailey likes?
Andrew Bailey, pitching coach for the Red Sox.
Do you think that Andrew Bailey had a say in this deal? How would Andrew Bailey know about this guy?
I think they acquired him in the hopes that Bailey could fix whatever his problem is, but I don't think that Bailey's like, go get this guy. No, I do not.
So the notion is that Andrew Bailey works with the roster of talent that the Boston Red Sox have, and then in his spare time goes out and analyzes every pitcher from every other team and goes, "This is who I want." This is no insult to Tyler Milliken's cousin, except it is. Just say you don't know. Just say you don't know.
But he does know. He knew all that stuff about,
he knew
about him and
his FIP off the top of his head.
And the starting rotation.
And everything they've had going on there. Mitch Keller, they've kind of filled out that rotation. Luis Ortiz as well.
Yeah. That's why you look it up. Come on. You're better than that.
All I know is that TMCC watches more baseball than anything else that I watch.
He knows more about baseball than I do. There's no question about it. He probably knows a great deal about baseball. He just didn't know who this kid was off the top of his head.
Decent control, big ground ball guy, 90th percentile.
Yeah. He's reading that, which Bertrand could have done. I was going to say Bertrand or Zolak, but let's be honest.
Well,
Bertrand
doesn't
could have
have a
done
computer down there with him.
No, but he's never seen this kid pitch. And if he did, you wouldn't remember. Like, you don't remember every guy that you see pitch. If you watch enough baseball, you don't remember. There's no way. I don't like that. I don't
Bailey kind of targets here, and it's no surprise it's Nick York going out.
Tyler Milliken's cousin's cousin. Well, let me give this message to Tyler Milliken's cousin. Don't fake the funk. Don't front, if we can get into the vernacular of my youth. Just admit you don't know. Just go, from what I read, from what I'm seeing, from what they're saying. That's what you should do. Because if you put yourself out there as an expert, gentlemen, You know what? I want Tyler Milliken's cousin on this show this week, and I want to be able, and I'm going to quiz him on current major leaguers from throughout the league, and I want him to tell me he cannot have a computer or a phone in front of him. I want him in studio, and I want to quiz him.
Oh no!
And if he succeeds in this, and I won't make it that hard, if he succeeds in it, I'll just say who's he play for, who's the person play for, and if he succeeds, I will eat crow. I'll literally eat a crow.
I'll give Milliken a better than 50-50 chance of passing your quiz. I think he's that knowledgeable about baseball.
He'd have to have a photographic memory. He'd have to memorize every roster from every team.
All I'm saying is it depends on how lost in the weeds you want to get.
Well, I'm going to get pretty lost in the weeds if a guy was a split starter, that if it was a young kid that has been out of the bullpen and a starter for a National League team, middle-of-the-road team, yes, I'm going to ask him about guys like that. That's what I want to do. I want him in here.
Quinn Priester started against the Red Sox this year. It is possible that he remembers him.
Ooh, Fred.
He could recall it. He doesn't remember it. Two different things. There's no way he remembers. How many games have the Red Sox played this year? 100? 110?
They have played over 100. They've played 105, I think it is.
I bet you could ask.
56 and 49 is how much?
I bet you could ask Alex Cora and he'd be able to recite every pitcher that they've faced. Outside of that, I find that very highly questionable because Alex Cora has to scout these things and have a plan in place. I mean, he's at the park, 4 hours before the game, 5 hours before the game. All right, let's get Milliken in here. Let's get Milliken in here this week. Let's get Milliken in here tomorrow so he doesn't have too much time to study.
He's usually here early enough. He's usually here at the 9 o'clock hour.
He was here before 9 yesterday. Now I think T-Bone is at training camp with Zoe and Beatles, so he's got the show
tomorrow. I want Milliken in here.
All right, well,
He'll be in the final hour of the show.
Maybe I don't know.
You get him in here, Hardy. You got access to that stud.
I'll speak with the lad.
Plus, we have to shame him on his nipple thing.
And Tyler Milliken's cousin. I don't know if he's going to be with us this week. At some point, we'll maybe be able to address that. But get well soon.
Oh, he's sick?
Yeah, there's something going on. Yeah.
And it's that chain.
Jason Tatum is a Celtics player. He's just a guy who will give your team 51.
JT is the. All right, we will be right back. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. We're brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. 617-779-0985. Jonathan just brought in a package that was sent to me from Amazon, and it says Freddie T. The Bachelor, care of 98.5 The Sports of 1075 Main Street, Suite 300 in Waltham, Massachusetts. And I opened it up. I will tell you who it is later if they want me to. I can't read it. It's too small, and I'm getting old.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
I can't read the thing. I had to keep it very far away from me. It's going to be nice when I'm out with a woman. It's going to be nice when I'm end of
The
sentence. It's going to be nice when I'm out with a woman, and this is going to happen. Like, and I can't read the menu.
Oh, yeah. Especially in a dark restaurant.
Yeah.
That's even worse.
Because you know how you see old people, they get their John?
Yes.
You know how you see old people. Can you hear me?
What?
They have to get like their phone out and like shine a light on it, or like you even see like Felger on TV have to put on bifocals to read, and even Felger, who's not hard on the eyes, he looks old when he puts on bifocals.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what do you do? This is an honest question. Anyway, so what the guy sent me was an actual chain and cross, which I'll put on I'll put it on so I can wear it on YouTube to really show Tyler Milliken how silly he looks.
See, my wife is smart. She carries readers with her everywhere. She has them all over the house, and she unapologetically puts them on to look at a menu in a restaurant or something. I won't carry them with me. Now, I've got some on my nightstand for when I'm reading, and I've got a pair in my bag, and I keep another pair in the truck. Not nice ones, just like, the $10 ones you just pick up. But I won't take them with me in anywhere, like to a restaurant.
Yeah, and you're married, dude. But like when you're being judged, I mean, first of all,
you think I'm no longer being judged because I'm married? It's just constant judging.
It's
Look at the
very
baby.
low
Look
stakes.
at the baby. Look at the baby.
Very low stakes judgments being made. There's a lot of hoops she's going to have to jump through. This is an easy. A first date is just making judgments. I mean, you're just judging people the entire time. Now, I'm very confident in my first date abilities. I'm very confident. I have very few confidences in life. And what's against me is the looking at me. But once you get past that, and I can start talking, you're a real
charmer.
I can be charming. Oh, I can be charming.
Why
Hardy.
aren't you like that all the time then?
It's kind of like a switch he flips on and off.
Yeah, I think you're putting out a false narrative. On
if you put out at all, then maybe you get some charm. But we got old can't have gay sex Hardy over here.
Hardy was raised right.
JON at 98.5thesportshub.com.
That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
The gay people that we are so fond of and such a part of our listening audience, it seems like John doesn't think you were raised right.
Here come the emails. Jesus.
What's good for the goose is good for the homophobe. But seriously, no, John loves gay people. Believe me, he just can't get enough. But
so here's what I think you should.
I will be blind.
This is what you should do, and I'm gonna find one for you on Amazon. I'm gonna have it shipped to the radio station now that I know the address. I'm gonna get you one of those rectangular magnifying glasses, and sometimes they'll have a little flashlight built in.
Nice,
and you can covertly take that thing out of your pocket and hold the menu up and just hold that magnifying glass up.
There's going to be a time, and it's hard enough because I told you I never knew I was getting older because you don't think about it. Well, I didn't think about it when I was married because I was married to someone my age. My kids are young, they're not out of the house. Like, you don't think about it. And then it was weird being told by someone like in their 30s, like that there was like a generational gap, like teasing, like playful teasing. But I'm like, you're not that young. Like, when I was your age, I had kids. Like, yeah, you're not that young. But there's now pressure because I don't want to date someone my age. No, I'm just kidding. But like, I don't want to date like someone like a lot older than me or something, So like, if you're out with someone younger than you, and you got to put on bifocals or get out a light on your phone, I'm not kidding. That's going to be very hard to get that woman to like me because I got enough going against me as it is. You should have seen my Instagram comments last week. I mean, there were a lot of people being very judgy. Dan, go ahead.
Well, first off, I was going to call about one thing, but let's just get this out of the way. John, very offended. Very offended. I think I'm going to have to make some emails and some phone calls. Freddie, take them. I want you to know that you are perfect the way you are. Between the penis looking up to see how you measure up, and now we're worried about classes. I just want you to know you have a far reach, and my wife is gorgeous, and I don't even make that much money. So there's lots of ladies that have some credit card bills, and you can be a sugar daddy. So
Dan, but you gotta
anybody you want.
You gotta get to the part where they find out how much money you have, because I don't represent well in photo. I've thought about that. Just take a picture of my bank statement and say, here you go. But because in the modern world of online dating, it's very superficial, and I have to put photos of myself up there, and there's no hiding it. And, radio is not what it used to be, even 15 years ago. These women have no idea who I am. BCN, we'd have women crawling all over the place. If I was single then, I'd be rolling in it. But now they don't have any idea that I have money. They don't have any idea that I can put on a fake, phony personality for an hour to dazzle them with tales. I can lie very well. But up until that point, I have to get to the point where they'll let me talk to them. And that's a difficult hill for me to climb. You should see me. And how many pictures of yourselves do you have? We've been over this already.
Right.
How many pictures do you have of yourself alone laying around? I'm not putting a photo of me and my kid up there like some creep. You know what I'm saying? I'm not putting, there's a bunch of pictures of me and my ex-wife. What am I supposed to do? Like, hey, here we are. Come on. And then I had a friend of mine, he goes, put pictures of yourself with like the hot chicks you're friends with. And I said, I don't have any pictures with other women. I was married.
Yeah, I don't want you, leading women on with more false narratives. You got a good job, you got money, but you have to understand what town you're in and what other people are making in this town.
I've got plenty of money. If I go to Everett,
you don't have.
I could be Monopoly guy in Everett.
Yeah.
You don't remember? I'm not exclusively dating in Newton. I have plenty of money.
You have no family money. You don't have old money.
I've made money for a long time. I had a morning show at 25 when radio mattered. I've been okay with my money.
Yeah, but how much did you spend off getting yourself well? That's how. Yeah,
I got that money back from insurance. I got a $20,000 check.
Oh my God, please!
I swear to God, I got a $20,000 check from insurance. I wasn't expecting it.
Okay, so this is a good barometer. You think $20,000 is a lot of money?
It's not for a car or jewelry, but for rehab. You would think rehab would be a knock against me, but when women find out how damaged I am, it's actually not the worst thing in the world. Amy, hello. It's a beautiful lady calling, and it's very exciting. Amy, hello.
Hi, Fred.
Hi.
I just wanted to let you know that I think readers are adorable.
Yeah, that's
and
not what I
if
wanna
you
hear.
put them on... No. If we were on a date and you put them on, I would actually be more attracted to you.
For real?
No, I'm not kidding.
I'm not saying this to be rude, but how old are you?
I'm at the age where I need readers now.
Okay,
too.
so there we go.
No. But no, when I was younger, I actually really found them endearing. I used to work with a lot of older guys, and I know they were shy about putting them on, but if one of them did, I just found it very endearing, and not in a fatherly way.
So you wouldn't find it. You would find it almost attractive. You're saying that more than unattractive.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
I'm not
Amy,
patronizing you. I'm serious.
No. I don't think you are.
I want to pump you up. I want to pump you up, and also I like intervention, so you would have that going for you too.
Yeah,
if we were on a date.
Amy, that is true. Isn't it surprising that these women all want damaged goods? They get very excited when I tell them that I had the drinking problem. They get very
We want to fix you, Fred.
Oh,
I
Amy.
mean, not that you need fixing, but
Oh, I
you
do,
know.
Amy. Believe me. And Amy, you can fix me anytime. Thank you so much, Amy, for calling in. I appreciate it. Look at how nice I am. See?
Rest assured, Amy, he may not be as rich as he makes out to be, but he's far
I
more
didn't say I was rich.
he's far more broken than he lets on. So I think the two balance each other out.
All right. I never said I was rich. I never. Dan did on the phone. I don't say it. That would be. What is it, gauche?
That would be untoward.
That would be new money.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, they say about the nouveau riche, it's the riche that counts.
Yes, indeed. Very good. You could be a foppish dandy in New Orleans, couldn't you, young Hardy? All right, we'll be back. Bird went to go see a movie.
Oh, that's
takes the Patriots, the Bruins, and the Revolution. Play here. WBC FM and HD Boston 98.5. The Sports Hub, a Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
Red Sox scored a 14-7 win over Seattle last night in the opener of a 3-game series at Fenway Park. The Sox got a homer and 4 RBIs from Masataka Yoshida to lead a 16-hit attack. And Nick Pivetta pitched into the 7th inning for his 5th victory of the season.
You know, I think that's what we are supposed to do every single night is to go out, try to get through the lineups as many times as we can, and put our team in the best chance we can to win. Feeling really good right now, and just looking forward to my next start.
Newly reacquired starter James Paxton goes tonight against the Mariners. The Sox also traded minor league infielder Nick York to Pittsburgh for 23-year-old right-handed starter Quinn Priester. Priester was immediately sent to AAA Worcester. The really big news in Major League Baseball is the trade deadline arrives at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Yesterday, there were a handful of trades, including a 3-team deal between the Dodgers, St. Louis, and the White Sox. Infielder Tommy Edmonds and former Red Sox minor leaguer Michael Kopech went to L.A., and starter Eric Fetty and Tommy Pham went to St. Louis as part of the deal. Overnight, Atlanta brought back outfielder Jorge Soler, and Seattle got Justin Turner from Toronto. Patriots defense struggled yesterday during the first padded practice of the summer, but they were shorthanded. Defensive lineman Matthew Judon and Devon Godchaux were both present but didn't participate, apparently because of their contracts, and Jabril Peppers was not able to finish after suffering a lower leg injury. The team will be back out there at 11 a.m. this morning. At the Summer Olympics yesterday, the U.S. women's basketball team won their opener over Japan 102-76. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by LNF Electrical Services. Don't spend another summer suffering from the heat. Have a mini split system installed by LNF Electrical Services and keep your home cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Visit lfelectricalservice.com. Proudly veteran-owned and operated. That's lfelectricalservice.com. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
No matter where you go, you're always connected to Boston sports with the 98.5 The Sports Hub app. Download it wherever you get your apps today. Now, more Tuncher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. You can watch us on YouTube. Search 98.5 The Sports Hub, and you can see. Someone sent me. I can read it if I put it at a great distance. Here's what I was sent by a listener, and I still don't know who. MC says hip hop jewelry, iced out bling, big crystal cross pendant, gold wrapper chain, religious Christian necklace fashion is what it's called.
Catchy.
And I have it on right now, and it's like ridiculous and everything. But I will tell you this: is that it is a cross rather. I've learned my lesson. A cross, which is a very important symbol in my life. In fact, I'll be selling them shortly. At Fred Toucher. I'll be selling my Fred's fun crosses. But this chain, as ridiculous as it is every bit, Tyler Milliken's cousin's chain is every bit as long, and everyone says it's perfectly fine. Everyone says it's perfectly fine. The cross is huge on this thing. It's kind of a joke. But and it's way bigger than Tyler Milliken's cousin.
Allow me to nip this. Allow me to nip this in the bud before you start getting attacked. That chain, I'm going to say, is a full 4 inches longer than Tyler Milliken's cousin. 2 inches on either side. You bring it up, you put it in between your nipples. That's below your breasts. Yeah.
Well, my breasts are longer than 2 inches, so we'll see. I got a bit of a. All right. There's a movie coming out. Now, it was funny because when I was in Charleston, my sons and some of his friends snuck into the movies and they were kicked out. And Deadpool and Wolverine was playing, but they snuck into Despicable Me 2.
Okay.
So what are you going to do? All right, I need young Nicholas in here, and I need him in here post-haste. Where is young Nicholas as he slowly makes his way in? Everyone take your time. Yeah, why are you not playing Darling Nikki? Come on.
Because I was trying to get Dan's attention, and you're talking to Nick, and he's, everyone's talking to each other.
I have that bad habit of talking it on the air. Here comes Nick. No
Still
hurry.
plenty of time for the song.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I mean, it really takes him a long time. Nick, oh boy, do you move slow. You have no energy.
I'm sorry.
You have no pep in your step.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, what the hell is all this
What was
noise?
that?
What's going on, Nicholas?
I don't know. I don't
All
know
right.
what that
Can't
was.
blame him for that one.
No, you watch me.
Okay.
You should see him piping up in meetings. Shut up. Oh, yeah. Real dum-dum.
Yeah, that idiot talked for
was not
40.
that idea.
That idiot talked for 45 minutes straight yesterday when some of us were trying to make it down to a Patriots training camp practice.
Listen, I was defending our honor. Believe me, I didn't expect the people to keep coming in. I thought it was a one.
I don't want to repeat the whole thing over again, and then you repeat the whole thing over again.
Yeah. When someone's just sitting there looking at you, waiting for you to talk, you got to talk. All right, young Nicholas.
Yeah.
All right, where did you go?
Well, we went to the movies.
Who?
Me and Bird.
Okay.
We went to the movies. We went to go see Deadpool and Wolverine.
Okay, so Deadpool and Wolverine, it's a sensation. Everyone loves it. It's, of course, the Deadpool comic book. It's Ryan Reynolds.
Have you seen any of the Deadpool stuff, Fred?
Sort of. I've had it on, and I know that it's like a sarcastic thing. Like,
Yeah.
Like the guy got deformed, and then he loves a lady, and he's become a reluctant superhero. Sort of, right?
I was trying to watch it one night with my adult roommate, and she was like so unimpressed with it and was not saying anything, but just like the body language and the eye rolling and stuff. I'm like, well, now you won't even let me try and enjoy it, so I'm just going to turn it off. And I never went back to it.
I don't have an opinion either way. I probably like it more than other superhero movies. All right, so what happened with you and Bird?
Well, we went to on Thursday night. We couldn't get passes to the press screening,
Oh, that's
so we
good
had to
news.
wait.
That's great. It's good to know that we're very popular. That we've gone down so far they won't let us into a movie.
Into a free movie?
No.
Yeah, this isn't the Hollywood premiere. This is just it's shown at some movie theater in Framingham.
Can't get tickets to the screening.
There are a few qualifications specifically for Disney movies that we don't
No.
make.
Why? What do we do?
Well, we need to be able to do a review on whatchamacallit.
Oh,
Rotten
good.
Tomatoes.
Sure. Good way to make that as clear as day.
Thank you.
All right, so what am I starting with here? With Bird. What am I doing?
The first one.
All right, here we go.
We went to see Deadpool.
Is that him? What's going on? Who's that
I
woman?
don't know. It's labeled under
Oh,
Bird.
that's okay.
Okay. All right, here we go. All right, here is Nick and Bird. Here we have it.
Explain what a very...
Is that it?
No.
It's not it either?
What the hell?
And we're off. Like a herd of turtles.
I'm sorry, this one. This one. All right, here we go. I apologize. All right, Nicholas, put on your headphones. Here we go. Look at how slow he is to even put those headphones on. Jesus Christ, Nick. You really are.
No, I'm not.
You move.
Just play it. Just go. Go.
Okay.
Moving fine.
Here we. All right, Nick. You'd think you'd hustle a little more with how little life you have left.
Oh.
All right, here we go. Oh, he's not going to live very long. We all
I know, but you don't have to tell them. If they haven't told him, why should you be the one
The
to tell them?
doctor tells him plenty. They don't even say to bother coming in anymore.
Has the doctor told you?
Days.
No, as the doctor said, like, hey, buddy, get it in now.
No, but when I did go to my physical, my blood pressure was at 170 over 113.
That sounds high.
Yeah, it's a little high.
Hi, Nick.
And you have a fake heart. So what did they say to do?
I'm not sure. They checked it again and it went down.
Did
so
they
it could
give
be
you
my
a-
coat.
They didn't give you anything. Just don't worry about it.
Did they give you a baboon heart or something?
They gave him a plastic heart.
No, they gave
He's
me
got a
the-
dyslexic
the-
heart and dyslexia.
Oh, the Paul Westerberg.
They gave me
Nick,
a
you
heart
talk
valve.
as fast as you walk.
They gave me they replaced my heart valve, so now I click. It's not a perfect heart, but it's a heart.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Heart
you know,
of gold, if you ask me.
A perfect heart ain't
See,
gonna
you
last
said it
as long.
very
If it
nice.
ain't perfect, it ain't gonna last long. Let's put it that way. That plastic's gonna end up in the ocean with all the rest of the garbage. When you die, though, and they dig you up, that plastic will still be there. It was just gonna be a big old pile of bones with a piece of plastic in it. For your teeth, bones, and plastic.
It's carbon fiber, just to let you know. It's not plastic.
Yeah, Hardy just got an erection. He wants to put it in his the golf shaft.
Might use it for my RC car. I don't know. I haven't decided
Yeah,
yet.
it needs a little waggle. All right, here we go. Here is Nick and Bird having fun.
All right, what's your name? Bird. Is it okay to use this for the radio?
Yes,
It's on every time.
As always.
it's okay, birthday boy.
Okay.
It was your birthday?
It was on birthday on Thursday. You didn't wish me a happy birthday.
How was I supposed to know it was your birthday if you didn't tell us?
I don't know. Everybody else did.
Yeah. We all
How did you guys know it was his birthday? I was off. I was off. How did you guys know it was his birthday?
I think Danielle.
Someone from another radio
Yeah,
station
she came
by
in.
and wished Nick
She
a
came
happy
in.
Well, happy birthday, Nicholas.
Thank you.
How old a man are you now?
38.
Jesus Christ. I remember when you were... How old were you when you started interning?
19.
Jesus. And now I need readers and what a time. Imagine if I was single when you were 19. Remember all the girls that were around?
Yeah.
Aren't you?
I do.
Aren't you?
So, what did you think of the movie?
I loved it. I think all the nerds and dogs could be rejuvenated seeing this movie.
As opposed to Bird, who's, on the cusp of everything hip. Yeah, you stupid dorks. You don't live with your parents in your 40s.
It's like peanut butter and jelly, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. It's just perfect match.
They go together?
Yes, they do.
So, of course, without...
How many peanut butter and jelly sandwiches a week do you think Bird makes? Because he had that job cutting bananas for a very long time.
Right.
Peanut butter and jelly, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. Timeline.
Oh, Bird.
Any spoilers or anything like that?
Yep. No spoilers.
Oh,
No spoilers. I can't know how this thing ends.
the fact that you think that Bird will be able to explain the plot and somehow spoil it for you is something else.
Was it a complicated movie, Nicholas?
Maybe for Bird.
No, but just in general. It's not like Dune or something.
It's better to know everything that was going on in the MCU lately in the last couple of years.
Jesus,
I
really?
hate this crap so much.
Really?
I can't tell you how much I hate this crap.
Wait.
And it all started when we tried to. The boy and I just tried to watch one of the new Spiderman movies. I'm like, the Spiderman Homecoming. Let's see that. And it starts off with like the Hulk, and it's like some backstory where they just got done fighting off some. I'm like, what the Hulk? What the hell's the Hulk doing in here? And it's like, oh no, you can't just watch Spider-Man. You have to watch every single movie that came between the last Spider-Man and this Spider-Man to know what's going on. It actually picks up mid-scene in some other battle where like Hong Kong Phooey is in there. I'm like, well, I don't know what the hell's going on, and I don't care enough to find out.
Ooey, like a Hong Kong.
Number one
Hooey,
guy.
Hooey, Hong Kong Phooey kid. All afternoon karate movie flick. And now that was in my head. So I didn't know Deadpool was Marvel.
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
It is.
but in the first two, there aren't references to the Marvel universe, are there?
No, there isn't because it was owned by a different movie studio, which is now bought, which Disney bought.
Okay, we're not going to get to a bunch of Bird right here because I am interested in this. I'm being serious. I'm not being sarcastic. Does it, because you're into the Marvel stuff, does it cheapen it? Like when a movie like it's like Marvel obviously is organic, like Stan Lee stuff that it existed in this comic universe before. I understand and respect that. Like I'm not like Hardy. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not super into it. I thought the first Thor movie was really good, and I thought the Captain America movies were good. But there's some like I don't want to see them all, right? Like I don't want to watch 10 hours of them or 20 hours of them. But here anyway, does it cheapen it at all that Deadpool wasn't part of it, but then it got picked up by a new studio and now it is?
I think it is but I'm also not a fan of like this multiverse.
And
whatever.
that's the biggest complaint I have about this crap, and people love it. The multiverse, don't worry, Fred. Bird's going to explain it all to you perfectly. But I think it's lazy and it's cheap, and it allows you to tell a story with zero consequences.
Well, that's like Lost. Like what Lost did is that they had all these things that seemed like they were brilliant, and at the end they didn't pay them off.
And the original idea is interesting, multiverse. Okay, but now everything, the last two movies that I tried to watch. Well, one of the Spider-Man in the multiverse of the Spider-Verse.
No Way Home. Yeah.
The animated one, like the half-assed animated one.
See, I don't know if that's part of the whole multiverse.
Well, yeah, it is because there's 19 different things going on.
Different worlds. That one I saw.
Yeah, you die in one, and it doesn't matter. You die in another, and you just jump to another one.
World
Like,
136, and yeah.
Well, then I don't care about any of them. How's that? I don't care.
Well, now they're finished. Now you've bagged out of the whole thing. I don't even know why they're bother making them.
They don't have my support. How can they possibly succeed?
You also need to know what went on with the Fox X-Men movies and then the sale of Fox to Disney. Is what I'm being told.
True.
Yeah, that's what I really like to do to enjoy a movie is understand the business dealings in the studios behind the scenes so I can really get a handle
That's what you need.
on the plot.
3 or 4 hours of research before you go to the movies.
That's
very important.
But that's
good.
That's Deadpool. He breaks the fourth wall and makes jokes about Disney and Fox and all that
you know
stuff
what? I hate it already.
during the movie.
I'm not going.
I like
That's
Deadpool.
enough.
I think Deadpool's all right.
I thought the movie was great.
I'm going to see it because, I got a daughter that needs to be entertained. So I can assure you I'm going to see this. All right, look, we have to talk to Andrew Callahan. It took you so long to walk in here that you ruined everything and you got us off track. So get out of here and go back in the room. And during Andrew Callahan, walk back in, and that should give you enough time. Oh, now he's running. Oh, you suck. Why do you do that? I'm serious. Why do you do that? Why do you run into the room going back, but you saunter in here coming in? Boy, what's wrong with you, Nick?
I saw that.
Did you see that he runs back to get to YouTube, but to get on the air? Why do we even do the show? Honestly, no one's concerned about anything having to do with the show. It's all ancillary crap. Like the articles and the YouTube.
Don't pull that in. Just focus on Nicholas here.
No one really cares about the show. It just shouldn't even exist.
I saw that happen. I'm like, here it comes. Here comes the storm.
In a way, I'm glad I'm this age because I don't know how much longer you're going to be able to entertain people. I just like no one's going to care anymore about anything. All right, we'll get back. We'll actually get the Birds movie review, but I do want to talk to Andrew
A
Callahan.
lot of drama.
A lot of drama at the Patriots game.
Man, I bet you
real.
Hard Knocks wishes they had the Patriots this year.
Yeah. We'll have that for you in just a moment.
Peanut butter and jelly. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. Timeline.
Toucher and Hardy, our friend Andrew Callahan is a Patriots reporter, columnist. That's unfairly labeling him. He covers all sports, and he's actually a very controversial political guy. He's taking over for Howie Carr. When Howie Carr decides to hang it up, it's Andrew Callahan's. They're handing him the keys.
Just remember the small people when you advance, Andrew.
Yeah.
Fred, it's not true, Fred. Howie doesn't have keys. He goes horse and buggy.
Okay, very good.
At the very least, a single stick motor car.
Hey, listen, he was on no reservations. He was on the Anthony Bourdain show. Andrew Callahan, of course, with the Boston Herald, joins us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Hello, Andrew.
Good morning, guys. Can I ask a favor real quick off the top?
Mm-hmm.
Could you wish my wife, who is riding with me here right now, I'm driving her to work, a happy birthday? It's coming up on Saturday. She has plans, but just a quick happy birthday.
Not for Saturday. It's 4 days from now.
What's her name?
Too early.
What's her name?
Alicia.
Alicia.
Oh, turn it up. Turn up the bass.
Girl, we've been gifted another year of your sweet presence on this earth. Girl, I have to believe
All right,
in
Fred,
eternity.
she appreciates that. That's good. That's good.
She was getting too excited. I understand, Andrew. Andrew, I thank you for taking this seriously and being in the car with your wife. No, I'm just kidding. But yesterday, a lot of people are saying gloom and doom based on a early preseason camp. Take us through what you witnessed yesterday.
So what I witnessed yesterday was the Patriots' first padded practice. We'll hit Matt Judon, right? I think that's the first reason for anyone who might be freaking out. And for me, look, it was a bad look for the Patriots. What he did was sit to the side, chat with Gerard Mayo after stretching, left after about a minute, half hour later, comes back to the field, has this animated 8 to 10 minute conversation with Elliott Wolf and Mac Rowe, arms waving, as I was told, because I was watching drills from my colleagues Zach Cox and Doug Hyde at the Herald. And then he leaves again. So I would say Judon did not practice in padded practices last year when obviously he had a contract dispute with Bill Belichick. He didn't do this, but he didn't practice. That seems to be the line that he's drawing to me again. Other than that, Jacoby Brissett had a great day. Drake May had his worst practice. The running game looked good. And it looks like they might be missing Christian Barmore, obviously, given that he's, a top 3, top 5 player in this team.
All right, so let's get back to Judon. It's no secret that he wants a new deal. It's no secret that they're going to have to give him a little bit more money, at least for this year, if they don't extend him. Are you making inferences into Mayo, the difference between Mayo and Belichick this early based on incidents like this one?
No, I think it's too early. And look, I'll say this, aside from serious health scares, like we saw with Christian Barmore, and we all wish him well and hope he comes back soon, there's nothing within the first 5 practices of training camp that's going to have me freaking out. And if people are freaking out, I would just ask you this. Are you new here? Like, the defense is always ahead of the offense. Matt Judon played hardball head-to-head with Bill Belichick last year. It went all the way to August 1st. We're not into August yet here today. Again, I will say, not a good look for him to come into the middle of practice and seemingly confront Matt Rowe and Elliott Wolf. But when he participates fully, despite this contract, which is under half of what his value would be in the open market, talking under $7 million base salary, I'm not going to freak out about the one day he wasn't there when he participated in the other 4. Now, again, of course, this could get worse, but I would say everyone freaking out is making a lot of this return, which, again, was not good to Grow and Wolf. But if Gerard Mayo had talked to him for that 1 minute and he leaves, the narrative to me, in my mind, would be look at Gerard Mayo holding his ground, sending Matt Judon away. Obviously, he didn't stay, but I just want to make light of there's a 8 to 10 minute period that I think has got a lot of people's attention within a 5-day period that I would say, look, we haven't learned anything yet. It's that early.
So you think Gerard Mayo has passed his first big test because Judon's not the only problem he has to deal with. And he seems to be in the middle of a lot of stuff here early on in his tenure.
Yeah, we'll see, right? I don't think the test is over. Until this contract is resolved or Judon is traded or whatever, place that they arrive at. It's interesting to me, though, guys, that Judon makes comments about a month ago saying, hey, I'm not going to hold in. That was trash. I'm not about that. last week he says, hey, look, I don't like my contract, but I will play on it. I will practice on it. And then, of course, yesterday, he's not participating in practice at all. So I would look at this maybe if I'm the Patriots. Optically, it's bad, but clearly them holding their ground is putting pressure on him in a way that's made him uncomfortable. To me, in negotiations, that's a sign that you're winning. It could get worse. He could make a mess if he chooses to and go completely against his word from a month ago, a la, let's say, James Harden in the NBA. And personally, guys, I would just hope he picks a lane. Either make the mess and sink into it and own it, or be a good soldier, let your agent handle the contract negotiations and hope something gets done.
Yeah, the hold-in has become one of the stranger things in sports, but we don't have to waste your time talking about it. We can just have that conversation on our own. I would rather hear from you, Andrew, what you saw out of the quarterbacks yesterday, because there had been a narrative, as there always is, that the new guy looks pretty good, and yesterday it seemed to go quite a bit in the other direction.
Yeah, a couple of so-so, and then just a downright bad day for Drake May yesterday when the Pats come on. He was 3 of 11 in team drills, according to my charting, along with Doug Hyde, again of the Herald. He had an interception, threw it to Kyle Duggar. Only 1 pass completed compared to 2 sacks when they went full team in 11 on 11s. Now, this is going to happen. And Jacoby Brissett simultaneously, again, we talk about the difference between optics and what really happened. Optics were worse for him because Jacoby Brissett at the same time had his best day ever. So there's this bigger gap. But what I would say is Drake May through the first 3 days and even OTAs and minicamp looked very calm, looking controlled. The numbers weren't wow. He would have a couple of highlight throws, but that kind of calm and control in the pocket, especially behind this offensive line, was very, very impressive. So just like Judon, where I'm not going to throw out the first 4 practices in light of this last one, I'm not going to do the same thing with Drake May because ultimately there's about 9 to 10 practices left, of course, 3 preseason games. If he's the better quarterback over that stretch, guys, clearly over Jacoby Brissett, he'll be the starting quarterback. And that's the same thing we said last week. So I would just give it time. But right now, over the first 5 practices, there's no question there's a clear leader, Jacoby, who was 10 of 11 with a couple really, really nice downfield passes yesterday.
It's not surprising Jacoby Brissett is, the better quarterback in camp based on his experience and everything. But can you tell Drake May is another level of an athlete? Like even if he's making mistakes, just the way he moves and throws, can you tell that he's a superior, I guess, mold?
Yeah, no question. I mean, the one box that you could check in his favor is sack avoidance. Jacoby Brissett has taken 7 and basically the same number of 11 on 11 snaps by my charting. We kind of differ sometimes on the media hill based on who got closest, and you can't obviously sack the quarterback in practice. And Drake May's only taken 5. So part of that is not just athleticism, but it's instincts, it's pocket feels. No one's going to mistake Tom Brady, of course, for Usain Bolt. But that dude was as good in the pocket as anyone maybe ever as far as adjusting and avoiding pressure. So those signs early, not just because he can scramble, but he's been able to sidestep pressure and get the ball out, has been encouraging for me for Drake May.
All right. Well, listen, Andrew Callahan, I apologize to your wife for you cutting me off. But other than that,
she's okay.
I think that you did well.
You want to give another shot?
No.
Oh. Happy birthday, Alicia, 4 days early.
Yeah, 4 days early. Happy birthday.
What are you doing for her?
Wallach, are you coming to practice today, by the way?
No, I am not coming to practice today.
I'm
Hardy may, but I am not.
No, that's my plan to go today.
Yeah, because Hardy couldn't go yesterday because he was babbling in a meeting.
But I will see you soon, Andrew.
All right, yeah, come say what's up.
All right.
Now, will he?
Do you want me to say what's up, or is it only Wallach that you're interested
Yeah,
in?
it's far more likely that Hardy's going than Wallach. I don't know where you're getting this notion that Wallach's going to camp.
Yeah,
Well, Wallach asked me yesterday what time practice was today, so I thought that might be an indication that he's coming. And if Wallach does come, I just want to know if I have to watch, from the top of the stadium out of sight, or if I can be down in case Hardy visits, and then we can chat and hang out.
Well, if you call for Wallach and he ignores you, don't worry, he can't hear you. Or if he does, but he's also been known for wallaching, which is ignoring.
Yeah, you could get wall-dicked.
Yeah, you could get wall-dicked, which is where he just
This sounds more like host not listening.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it's like. All right, Andrew Callahan, the Boston Herald. Thank you so much for the time. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, see you guys.
See ya. Thank you. Thank you for Andrew Callahan. All right, when we come back, we will have finally Bird's movie review. More with FanDuel. Deborah Harry, a host in the ill-fated 1980 season of Saturday Night Live. Eddie Murphy was put on that cast as a 17-year-old, or 18, I guess, when he was finally cast. Who did the producer of the show want instead of Eddie Murphy? And Lorne Michaels' cousin pushed for Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy ultimately got it, but another famous African-American. There was no African-American member of the cast at the time in the 1980 cast. Garrett Morris had left along with the original cast. Who did they want? Can anyone think of someone around the age of Eddie Murphy? He's a little older. They wanted him. He was a young comic at the time.
Arsenio Hall.
That's not a bad guess. No.
I don't know. Red Fox. I don't know who it was.
That's a terrible guess.
No, I understand that's a terrible guess, and I understand that it wasn't going to be correct.
Another African American comedian, a little older than
he became
Eddie
a filmmaker, and then
John Waters.
African American.
Oh, okay, but that was a good guess.
You're getting homosexuality and African American mixed up. One's a race and one is a sexual preference. Robert Townsend.
Oh, okay. Hollywood Shuffle.
Hollywood Shuffle. And how many members of the 1980 cast can you name off the top of your head?
Was Joe Piscopo that early?
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy, Joe Piscopo.
Eddie Murphy was a featured player. I'll let it slide.
Tim Kazurinsky?
Nope. He came in at 81.
Jesus.
Nora Dunn?
Nope.
Mary Gross?
Nope. These are all cast members in the 80s, but no, you're very far off. This is 1980. The cast that almost ruined SNL. Very good.
All right. Well,
there's one very famous comedian. He failed. He got fired halfway through the season.
Gilbert Gottfried.
You knew all along. Because you look just like him. And you just held on to it like a dick. Who doesn't hold on to information is young Nicholas. Let's see how long it takes him to get in here. Nicholas and Bird were out at this. He can't buy. Oh, no, he's running. All right, so he's learned this out. Tough love works, people. Now he's walking. Jesus Christ, Nick. He's insisting on it. Making sure YouTube's still working. He's got a job to do. He's laser focused. All right. They went out to see the Wolverine Deadpool. They couldn't get into the premiere, so they just went to it like normal people, like you and I would. And here we go.
All right, what's your name?
Bird.
Is it okay to use this for the radio?
Yes, it's okay, birthday boy.
Okay. Yep. So what did you think of the movie?
I loved it. I think all the nerds and dogs could be rejuvenated seeing this movie. It's like peanut butter and jelly, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. It's just perfect match.
Yeah, so we learned it was like peanut butter and jelly, a perfect match, and not all the cool dudes in their 40s that live with their parents.
Right.
This is something to throw to the dorks.
It's a bit like Felger Maz talking about the dorks ruining sports, baseball in particular.
There's nothing that aggravated me more than it was Barth, Felger,
McCarthy.
and McCarthy going, these dorks. Yeah, I'm a dork. I'm a dork, not a nerd. Why are you even having this discussion? You're all sports dorks. You're all nerds. You have such little self-awareness that you're calling other people out on the very thing that you are. I mean, Alex Barth, you write for a radio station website about sports. Can't get dorkier than that.
It's like peanut butter and jelly.
They go together?
Yes, they do.
So, of course, without any spoilers or anything like that.
Yep.
Talk to me about the movie. What happens?
So, one timeline is gone in the multiverse. I don't remember the Earth number. I know it's like Earth 616 and Earth.
Is that like an area code?
Earth number 616. What?
It was one less than 617. Port Pines area code. There's a Port Pines universe where you live with your parents. And then there's a universe everyone else lives where you have to make your own way. There's a universe where you could get a college degree from Curry College. My son had a doubleheader at Curry College, and the whole time I just went, why is this facility so nice? I know they let anyone in.
You got to pay a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So you get a nice place to go.
But you're buying a
you
degree.
could be here with anybody.
Yeah. You're buying. It's a beautiful campus, but you're buying that degree. Bird has a degree from a real 4-year college in a real subject.
Timeline is gone in the multiverse. I don't know. Remember the Earth number? I know it's like Earth 616 and Earth 01151, whatever one it was. I couldn't keep up with that. So
I find that hard to believe. Now, again, does Curry College? Do they complain when we play these things? Because they have a legitimate complaint.
I think
we're highlighting one of their graduates.
I think they get enough good press from the likes of Tyler Milliken and the other graduates or the other students who have interned here that it all balances out.
I mean, this is a man who literally cut bananas for a living and lives at home.
I don't remember the Earth number. I know it's like Earth 616 and Earth 01151, whatever one it was. I couldn't keep up with that.
But everyone loves Bird. There's no doubt about that. I could imagine him charming the professors. I'm not lying.
That universe is dying, and TVA says, hey, you could say this.
Yeah, I mean, TSA's got a lot of problems. You should have seen the lines this weekend.
That universe is dying, and TVA said...
The Tennessee Valley Authority that dammed up the Tennessee River in order to make Lake Tellico, which is, according to my father, 50 miles long.
That universe is dying, and TVA says, hey, you could say this timeline, but X, Y, and Z is going to happen. I don't want to spoil too much.
TVA, X, Y, Z, you know the drill.
And you need a partner in crime. And this partner in crime is called Wolverine, and he's going to help you. But Deadpool runs into many, many variants of Deadpool.
How many partners in crime do you think he needed to con Curry College out of a degree?
You need your counselor. You need the person to write the letter of recommendation.
You need Lori Laughlin.
Yeah.
Someone's going to jail.
You need someone at the bank to falsify financials.
Where is Curry? Is that Hyde Park that Curry College is in? I needed to
Milton.
No,
Milton.
Oh, Milton, but around there, right? Like that area.
Yeah.
I need a detective down there to start looking at this. There's something afoot at Curry College.
And that was hilarious, by the way. And they work together and they try to fix the universe.
Is he not stealing a George Carlin bit?
And that was hilarious, by the way.
The XYZ universe thing?
And they work together and they try to fix the universe. And a lot of shenanigans goes on in the middle of all that.
No. I know you said no spoilers. Bird continues. He's got more to say on what happens. Is Wolverine, Deadpool Wolverine, which I imagine is very complicated. In here,
many variants.
Many variants.
Many.
Everyone's sounding like Trump to me today.
What was your favorite Deadpool?
Well, now you let the cat out of the bag.
My favorite Deadpool. You're talking about the
many variants.
Okay. All right.
I know my favorite Deadpool. I was at a friend's house one time in Cambridge, and I found a cat floating atop the water. Whoopsies. I guess you got 9 lives expired. I only wish I was there to see it happen. Wet and stiff.
That's right, horse f***er.
Don't play the one about
the
other guy. We're going to get in trouble.
Again.
Yeah.
What was your favorite Deadpool?
The dog was cool. The cowboy one was cool. The floating head was unique.
All right, what is he talking about?
So this is where it gets weird. So there's multiple versions of Deadpool, the character, from different universes.
Okay.
Hence
They're
the
not all
multiverse.
Ryan Reynolds?
No, they're not. Not all of them. Some of them are. Some of them.
Is there something like when Michael Keaton was in Flash, where everyone like started like crying? Is there something like that in this Deadpool where there's another celebrity and people act like it's a big deal that a actor's in a blockbuster movie? That drives me crazy. I don't mean to be overly negative.
I mean, there's a ton of like cameos and whatnot. So
doesn't that kind of annoy you? Like in Flash, like Michael Keaton's in it as Batman, and you're like, well, yeah, The Flash is like a $200 million movie. Like, of course, like Michael Keaton's an actor. Like if you looked it up and like,
yeah, it's the audible gasp from the theater audience.
Yeah,
that
it's really like an easy thing to placate. Like, and Austin Powers is one of my favorite movie franchises of all time. But I tell you, when I went to that Austin Powers, and the theater was just in hysterics because of the Austin Powers with Tom Cruise in it.
Do you know what I forgot to tell you? Oh, my God. It was, I don't know what, maybe it was when you were gone last week for a couple of days. I sat down and watched maybe 15 minutes of The Love Guru because I've never seen it, and I wanted to see the film that essentially ended Mike Myers' career. Like, how bad could it possibly be? Have you ever seen it?
No.
You should try and watch a few minutes of it.
It's that bad?
It's starting like shockingly bad.
How did he, because he's such a brilliant guy, how do you think that he just...
Thought, I can make this funny. This will be funny. As weird a character as this is, and you want to talk about cameos, there's a scene that's nothing but cameos.
Yeah, cameo. Okay, I will say this. Like, Austin Powers is like a brilliant, like, I just am so jealous that he came up with it. Like, it's such a weird, brilliant idea. But I cameos are never funny. They're not funny on Saturday Night Live, and they're not funny in these movies. And when you're audibly gasping, I don't get it. You're at a movie with an actor in it. Like, if an actor showed up in the theater, like, like Rocky Horror Picture style, preferably in lingerie, finally letting this freak flag fly. Freak flag fly.
You got it.
All right, we'll be right back and finish Bird's movie review. I'll try not to interrupt it so much. I know that annoys people. I'm aware of it, Nick. I'll give you time to get in there. Don't you worry, Nicholas. We got all the time in the world. There he goes.
And now he runs.
I don't think, I'm being dead serious. I don't think he can run much further than that. How many times around a track do you think he could run? Let's quickly in the room. You got 10 seconds.
Less than one.
Less than one lap.
No, he'll make a 1.5. He's not making a half mile.
Less than one. Less than one lap. 100%.
Halfway around, maybe 3/4.
How many miles could you run?
3.
I could probably run 3 miles.
Could do 3.
Nick could do a fifth of a mile. All right. That makes us better than him, by the way. All right, we'll be right back.
between the two teams. Masataka Yoshida led the offense with a 2-run homer and 4 RBIs. Same two teams play again at Fenway tonight. Red Sox also made a minor trade yesterday. They sent AAA second baseman and former first-round draft pick Nick York to Pittsburgh for 23-year-old right-handed pitcher Quinn Priester. The Major League Baseball trade deadline arrives at 6 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. There were a small flurry of trades yesterday. Overnight, Atlanta brought back outfielder Jorge Soler and reliever Luke Jackson from San Francisco. Seattle got Justin Turner from Toronto. And the big deal, a 3-team trade between the Dodgers, St. Louis, and the White Sox. Tommy Edman and Michael Kopech go to L.A. in that deal. Patriots defense shorthanded yesterday at training camp. Defensive lineman Matthew Judon and Devon Godchaux both present, but neither participated, apparently over contract issues, and Jabril Peppers was not able to finish the workout after suffering a lower leg injury. On offense, Gerard Mayo saw a subpar day from rookie quarterback Drake May, but he's learning about the quarterback and how he thinks on the run.
Look, he can make all the throws, and he's an athletic guy, so working on those off-schedule plays outside the pocket where guys can really start moving around, and that's when you'll see his arm strength and things like that.
The team will practice again at 11 a.m. this morning, and at the Summer Olympics, the Americans won a bronze medal in gymnastics in the men's team competition, and the U.S. women's basketball team opened their schedule at the Summer Games with a 102-76 win over Japan. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Eastern Massachusetts' leader in drain cleaning and pipelining, Drains by James. Slow drain, clogged drain. You need to contact Drains by James today at drainsbyjames.com. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
Start your day.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Work through your day.
What's that thing we do at the end of the show?
And end your day.
I'm not giving you an opinion. I don't know.
Right here. 98.5 The Sports Hub. You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on The Sports Hub.
Wow, what Dubs cry?
Random fact Friday. Flavor Flav can play 15 instruments.
That's what I read yesterday. I mean, there's evidence of him playing piano. I don't know anything else.
If you can play piano, you can play 15 instruments. I'm not kidding.
That I did not know.
Well, it's a visualization of music.
I imagine you'd be able to play xylophone, marimba, vibraphone a little bit, the bells, a glockenspiel.
You ever been on
maybe the chimes?
You ever been to a show where someone in the band has discovered the theremin?
Oh yeah, 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah, I went to a Fishbone show where Angelo Moore, who's kind of crazy anyway, which is great for a front man, but I would imagine the band breaks up on a pretty consistent basis. He had a theremin, which is an instrument where you just stick your hand in it.
You interrupt the magnetic field, and it goes, woo!
And it's cool for like a second, and he forgot to sing or play trombone or any of the other things, not trombone, saxophone or any of the other things that he's supposed to do. And he just sat there screwing with this theremin.
I made Trent Reznor laugh when I did an interview with him because he was touring with, I think it was during the Fragile tour, and he had a theremin with him on stage. I said, Trent, some people think this is, kind of a weird thing that I said, but it's actually, pretty accepted. And it's, I was just reading about a guy who uses a theremin in this new work I was just reading about. And I kind of went on for a second. He was like, yeah, it's this thing. I said, yeah, the guy I was reading about was Hannibal Lecter, the latest Thomas Harris novel. He's very much into his theremin. And he actually laughed at that because it was true. He could tell. I mean, that was... There were the only two people I knew who played a theremin at the time. Well, you said Fishbone, but it was Trent Reznor and...
Well, how did you not know that Angelo Moore from Fishbone had one?
A fictional serial killer.
And I like that you knew that Trent Reznor would be a fan of the macabre. And opiates.
Do you know who lives in Trent Reznor's house in New Orleans right now? Trent Reznor's old house, which I imagine had to be...
Nicolas Cage.
Nope.
Who?
John Goodman.
Interesting.
I can't see them having the same taste at all. Even in just the bones. I'm sure he changed the interior significantly, but the actual house itself, Trent Reznor used to live here, and John Goodman said, yes, I like it too. I will live here now. And he bought it.
Trent Reznor's a big Roseanne fan, so there's no question. He probably modeled it after that Modest Home
and Revenge of the Nerds
in rural Illinois. Yeah, that was when John Goodman, more of a football player than a candidate for a heart attack. This hour of Toucher and Hardy brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. You can watch us on YouTube. Be Real says that Brandon from Incubus plays the didgeridoo live in concert.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does. He does indeed. All right. Nick and Bird were out to see Deadpool versus Wolverine. There's a multiverse thing that Bird talked about, and we pick up where we left off. Bird sharing his remembrances of Deadpool past.
What was your favorite Deadpool? The dog was cool. The cowboy one was cool. The floating head was unique. I don't want to... Wait, this is no spoiler, though. I don't want to give it away too much. I just said 3.
Oh, boy. Do you even go anymore?
Give it away. The dog was cool.
I don't even know what the other one said. The cowboy and the phone head? Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, phone head.
Okay.
Yeah, the part you're talking to.
Give it away. The floating head was unique.
Okay.
Floating head?
Foam head.
What is he saying?
What was your favorite Deadpool?
Don't get me started.
The dog was cool. The cowboy one was cool. The floating head was unique. I don't want to... Wait, this is no spoiler, though. I don't want to give it away too much. I just said 3. But there's over 100 of them. You can see over 100 of them, and you figure out your favorite one, okay?
All right. Continue. What happens in the movie?
He's talking about Bazooka Joe comics. If you go to his collection, there's 100. You figure out your favorite one.
I also have a collection of over 40 Snapple facts.
Continue. What happens in the movie?
Wolverine and Deadpool save the day, like they always do, because they're heroes. That's what heroes do in Marvel movies.
That's almost so dumb it's endearing.
You're talking about Marvel.
That's almost so dumb that it's endearing. Like, couldn't you see this at the end of a movie? Like, where the kid overcomes everything? He's, like, sitting there, and there's, like, the natural...
Continue. What happens in the movie?
Wolverine and Deadpool save the day, like they always do, because they're heroes. That's what heroes do in Marvel movies.
And there's, like, an adult going, that's right, Billy. That is what heroes do. Heroes save the day. Like, Billy, how did you get that cat out of the tree? That's what heroes do, Grandpa. Heroes save the day. That's right, Billy. Heroes do save the day.
You got it right. Now let's go to lunch. What do you want?
It's like peanut butter and jelly.
Okay. Well, listen. You got 3 hours for him to figure that concoction. All right, I got the peanut butter.
I don't remember the Earth number. I know it's like Earth 616 and Earth 01151, whatever one it was. I couldn't keep up with that.
Yeah, not to bore you with the details.
I hate this so much. There's over 100 Deadpools in this movie. And pick your favorite. That's stupid.
Sounds like a big
Come up with a good story about a couple of characters and just tell it to me. How about this for a story? There's 100 of them, and doesn't matter what happens to any one of them because it's just to hop to a different universe.
It might sound to me like it's a comedic montage. Nick, is it a comedic montage of the different Deadpools if there's so many? Is that no? Okay, well I'm completely off.
Explain what a variant is.
Why don't you explain what a variant is, genius? You're so smart. You can't even walk in here. You can't even have a real heart.
Oh.
Come on.
Don't look at me like that. I could kick your ass.
Less
with
than
that
a
fake
week
heart of
removed
yours.
from his birthday. How dare you?
Many variants.
Many variants.
Explain what a variant is.
Oh boy, a variant is like.
How many times do you think that was his answer to the question?
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Curry College lecturer. Can anyone tell me, in and of mice and men, what the rabbit symbolizes?
Oh boy.
You know, the first time that Bird saw a pregnancy test, he peed on it and went,
oh boy.
He really thought there was a chance. Would you do it to yourself? Can you make one?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. A variant is like, for example.
You know, the first time that he saw an ice cream cake.
Oh boy.
This changes the game changer. Ice cream and cake?
That's Fudgy the Whale.
A variant is like, for example, I'm Bird, you're Nick. In another universe, there's another Bird and Nick doing something totally different. Like, you could be an executive producer, and I could be
an executive producer.
Dare to dream.
And then he's giving us the finger. With that attitude, you're not going to ever be the executive to the executive producer. I'm an executive producer. I have my own drawer.
Like, you could be an executive producer, and I could be a Marine or something crazy.
That would be crazy. Imagine you with that college degree being a Marine. Imagine you passing a test to get it. Imagine you serving this country. We'd all be doomed.
Like, you could be an executive producer, and I could be a Marine or something crazy. Or a stunt dog or something.
I myself would feel safe at night knowing that Bird was watching over me. I think Bird would make a fantastic
When
movie.
he's thinking of something so out of this world, it would be a Marine or a stunt dog. I got an idea for a new superhero. At night, he's Marine. In the morning, he's stunt dog. What's a stunt dog? Jumps through hoops.
Okay. All right.
Stunt dogs. Remember that cartoon? Was great. Anyways.
Can you expand?
Do you remember the cartoon Stunt Dogs?
I do not. And
you know it's something else.
When did he get the meth? Because now sounds like he's all hopped up on 25 glasses of soda.
Or a stunt dog or something.
Okay. All right.
Stunt dogs. Remember that cartoon? Was great. Anyways.
Can you expand?
On the variants?
Yeah.
That's all I got for the variants.
Okay.
All right. Very good.
Yeah.
All right. And I got.
Oh yeah. He finally gives it. He gives it a score.
All right, but this has a woman's voice, I think, in it.
This woman is very upset at Deadpool.
Is this from Nick?
No, it's something
okay.
totally different.
I'll do something. Yeah, give me the Stunt Dogs intro. What is Stunt Dogs?
Stunt dog! He is a dangerous con with his side. For action, make the thunder be live.
All right, what year was Stunt Dog? Because Bird's in his 40s. What year is Stunt Dog? I don't recall Stunt Dog. Maybe Bird is more up on it than me. What year is this?
1992 to 93 animated comedic adventure series about a team of Hollywood stunt performers and their bulldog named Human.
Yeah,
who can also solve crimes and battle villains.
Yeah, that was when he's like, is there a channel below Nickelodeon? Is there a channel below Nickelodeon? Anything for even people who can understand less. All right, well, there you go. Bird loves it. It is the Deadpool Wolverine movie. There's many variances in the 618. And
many French fries.
And many things of that nature.
The Stunt Dogs animated series was based on the 1978 film Hooper. Have you ever seen Hooper with Burt Reynolds?
Yes,
I'm aware of Hooper. I've
there
not
ain't
seen
nothing
Hooper.
like the life of a Hollywood stuntman, a stuntman.
And that's the one with the big tower just barely missing the car at the end.
Spoiler alert.
Yes.
Jesus, Walter.
I know.
Give it away.
I know.
The dog was cool.
I feel awful.
All right. There you have it. Everyone go see Wolverine, Deadpool Persons. We'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to
the email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. You can email John Wallach, JON at 985thesportshub.com. You can email Hardy at 985thesportshub.com. You can email me, Toucher, at 985thesportshub.com. You can follow us on Instagram at Toucher and Hardy, and follow me on Instagram at Fred Toucher. What's yours? At Hardy Radio?
Hardy at 985thesportshub.com.
No, but your Instagram.
Yeah, at Hardy985.
Okay. But one thing I did get on my Instagram was a video that has gone viral. Now, don't panic. It is does not involve us. It involves our own friend Crash Clark, and he is a traffic reporter in Atlanta, but he's far more than that. He's part of a studio crew in the morning on network television, and this has gone viral. It's not, Crash isn't the big part of it, but here is our friend Crash Clark. He didn't even know about it. I just was texting him about it, and here you go.
Researchers say they are seeing a trend of women dating down, which means, a man who...
dating down.
Really? All right, listen, it was in the prompt, right?
Really? Who wrote that?
I mean, I say all that.
Jeez.
Disgruntled.
Dating
This is
down.
just the reality of it. So women, we're more educated now, and I think that we're furthering our education. So with that being said, we're going to hold off on the baby making. We're going to hold off until we get that great job. Really career driven. And I don't think there's anything wrong with hoping that there's someone either on your level or higher than you.
All right. So before, right, it was okay when the man made more money to be the one to buy everything, to do, treat you and all this other kind of stuff. And now that you make more money, you can't be that one, right? You can't be the one to pay for the meal and because you're dating down. I hate that, yeah. What is that about? It wasn't called dating down.
Right. Yeah.
When men were the breadwinners and all that kind of It's called down. Now it's dating down.
Yeah.
What is that?
Are these women expecting the men to cover everything? They want those breadwinners, so they...
That's what it sounds like to me by this particular study. I have to date down now. What is that? You wanted to make more money, you make more money. What's if there is a responsibility with making more money? First of all, I don't believe in any of it. But if there's a responsibility that comes with making more money, accept it. You wanted to make more money. Right. Are you going to find many men out there that makes as much as you do?
And my point is, so now you're going to, because we hear so much about women that are like, oh, there's nobody out there, there's no one out there, I can't find love, I'm getting too old.
This went viral? I don't even know what I'm listening to.
I know what you're listening to.
There's no accounting.
Wolverine and Deadpool save the day, like they always do, because they're heroes. That's what heroes do.
What's that?
In Marvel movies.
It says
Birds should go viral over what we just heard.
Newscaster addresses rude dating down comment live on air. It has 11,000 likes, 1,500 comments, and it's been shared 8,000 times.
Okay.
Why?
Because
it's a boring conversation.
Oh, no. No.
I think America differs.
There's a trend
in their opinion than you.
of women dating down. Now, what does that mean? They're women dating people that make less money than them, but not so fast. As a man who makes less money than the woman, I'm offended, and I'm going to call you out on it. That's morning television, ladies and gentlemen. When given the canvas, you can tell Crash is like, what the hell am I supposed to say? When given the canvas of 90 seconds, that is of not having scripted content, that is what television news devolves into. It is a fascinating thing to me. And by the way, the people on the internet are like into the discussion, but it's very interesting to me what 90 seconds of open mic in non-reading, what that turns into. Just babbling nonsense. I
don't know who's making what point.
And Crash said that this is from like years ago, and it's just been someone.
Crap.
I know what the point is. The lady's like, the women are well educated and they're waiting longer to have babies, and so they're dating down. And the man saying, "Whoa! If you want all these career goals, why are you saying dating down?" What, like, if you're making more money, you're making more money.
But how does waiting longer to get married and having a career and stuff, how does that relate to dating down?
Because positive things about women, and then the other guy goes positive things about men. Whatever doesn't get us in trouble. That's what they're thinking. How do I fill this time? Because everyone watching us on this television station is an idiot.
When does Crash?
And they're all nothing but time on their hands. And the minute I say anything remotely interesting, it will be greeted with a chorus of voices trying to get me fired. That's exactly what they're
When
thinking.
does Crash chime in and say, "Hey, I married a girl that didn't even speak English. I didn't speak her language either. We were both dating up or down or something. Disney,
some direction.
Let's go." I met her there.
Yeah. Which one of the Crash's multiverses? Which one of the marriages? All right. I have.
Wasn't one of his marriages? I don't know.
Careful.
No, I know.
One of his what?
One of his. Didn't he get married at Disney World? One of his marriages?
No,
that was afterwards.
That is a very, very expensive notion.
It's suspension. Yeah.
Freddie T, so glad you brought up Charlie Moore. First off, I respect anyone who's made a living doing something they love. That being said, the mad fisherman is the biggest dork on the water this side of the Mississippi River. No one on the banks of Cape Cod mentions his name. Living in New England and fishing for freshwater bass is like living in Vegas and making a name for yourself on $10 minimum blackjack table. I would hereby like to challenge Charlie Moore to a saltwater fish-off. The Luchador versus Charlie Moore.
I like it.
Luch versus Cooch. Leave your boats and fish finders at home. Me and you waist deep sharing the waters with sharks using nothing but our rods and our tackle and our experience. Again, Charlie Moore, we happen to have nested on this morning because Nicholas couldn't make it into the station in time to change the channel. He only had 15 minutes to get to 10 feet. So Charlie Moore was on, and I hadn't seen him in a long time, and I'm like, what is this fella up to?
53, still rocking the Frohawk.
So I went to a faux hawk. He went to, not a Frohawk. Again with your racism. He apparently, according to his Wikipedia, had a creative artist agency representing him, and they wanted to do a big network sitcom based on his life.
Oh, sure.
But then the writer's strike happened, and then he said, I would like to focus on other projects. That's according to Wikipedia.
Sure.
He said, to hell, he goes, I'll stay on Nesson, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I don't need your big dollar network contract. I like having creative control. I'll fish with offensive linemen from the Patriots when I want to fish with offensive linemen from the Patriots. Go ahead.
What happened was they were going to do a sitcom based on his life, and then when they got a team of writers working on it, they said, if this is what we're going to be forced to do, we're going on strike. And that's what caused the writers' strike.
Of course. They were like, Coulier's already doing Full House, and there's only one guy that can play Charlie Moore. All right, go ahead, Jonathan.
This is directed to Hardy. This is a conversation from the first hour. If Hardy can play and endorse Ultimate, then I hereby endorse Foursquare and will start playing immediately. Less BO and more fun.
Yeah, Hardy, we knew was a disc golfer.
No, I do not play disc golf.
I thought
played
you
it
did.
Once.
Oh.
Like one time.
Okay, so Ultimate.
Sectional champs, back-to-back years, Team Myron.
And that was college?
Post-college.
In what town? It couldn't have been in Michigan.
I was still living in East Lansing. I was working at the little rinky-dink radio station there, and I had plenty of time to go play Ultimate.
Artie is waxed nostalgic with me about Ultimate plenty of times. There was, what was it, the guys on the Michigan State soccer team had to come out and train with you?
That's right.
That's right.
I think maybe the first year I went to a club team before I left college, and I think the first year we won, I was still in college, and then 1 year after college, we won back-to-back sectionals.
Oh, you came back.
We got to defend the title.
We ran it back.
You have to run it back.
Yeah.
You fit everyone under the salary cap?
Yeah. You know what, Wallach? You got that email. I got one that said, Hardy, don't let Fred sell your passion short like it's some children's backyard game. I played in a networking group when I first moved to PA, and I broke a girl's front tooth right in half. It's about to throw a pass over the middle. Brady to Welker's down. The girl came running across my blind side. Pow right in the kisser. So Fred can take his pickup sticks and hula hoop jokes and stuff them in a sack.
Well, I wish I was smart enough to come up with those jokes because you're giving me far too much credit. But very much like the Welker Brady connection, there was often a woman in the way. I mean, you know that often there was a woman.
All right, Tuesday, Thursday pickup was often co-ed, and there were some fine players of both genders, and we would train together. It's called training as much as it is practice.
This is from the same person who just insulted this television show the Crash was on. Go ahead.
I insult what?
You're talking about the sexes.
Yes, you seem to have a problem with it either way, Fred. Can't win for trying with you when it comes to, dare I say, the fairer sex.
But so yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so yeah, we would train together, but when it came tournament time, then we would split up, and there were men's divisions and women's divisions.
Well, I don't care for that at all.
And a mixed division.
When they play at the Newton Park, it's very much co-ed.
And there were mixed teams too, but I never played on one of those. Like mixed doubles at Wimbledon, same thing.
Why didn't you play on them?
I was devoted to Myron. You know, it took all my time and energy.
Okay. By the way, my son is flying by himself for the first time this weekend. He's going to Florida for camp, a sports camp, and he informed me that I could just go ahead and drop him off, and he'd handle it.
Are you worried about this trip at all?
Why don't you take it one step further and say, you know what? Why don't you take the green line out of Newton, and then all you have to do is connect for the silver line, blue line.
We can, yeah.
It goes green, silver, blue to get yourself to the airport.
Because he'll be able to check his bag.
Or green, blue, silver.
He'll be able to check his bag. He'll be able to do everything that you need to do. Hey, so I just leave it here, right? And they take it. They know what flight I'm on. I'm Milo. Here's my bag. I'll just leave it right here.
Yeah, I'm supposed to show up here. I'm going to Florida today. You probably heard.
I'll leave it with the guy with the long beard yelling about the Lord.
Where's the plane?
You just take it and you put it under my name.
Where's the door to go to Florida? I'll walk through that door.
Which one of these birds is going to get me to Florida? I just thought it was so funny. And then, but when he comes back, he's going to actually, I mean, they're not going to they're going to drop him off at the Tampa airport, and he's going to have to figure it out. But he'll be the smartest one there because he'll be at the Tampa airport.
My daughter is going to Costa Rica on Monday.
But is she going with other people?
Yeah, but
it's weird.
I'm oddly unfazed by it because I'm not driving her to that airport, and they have to fly out of New York. So she's going with another friend of hers, and it's for a work community service thing. This is something new. I didn't know about this. High schools now, where you want to put on your transcript and in your college applications, I did this, and this for the community. Oh no, you have to prove it. There's actually graduation requirements. You have to do a certain number of hours of community service.
Natick has that too.
Yeah. Yep. So this is, I think, fulfilling some of her community service thing, over the course of a week in Costa Rica doing, I don't know. Thank God the mother, the girl's mother is handling all of this because I truly don't know. And
she's busting coke dealers.
I'm oddly unfreaked out by the fact that my daughter's going to Costa Rica for a week.
She's going undercover.
Maybe.
She's busting up a drug ring.
Matt Sicario style. That'd be cool.
Yeah. They listen to how these high school girls to go down there.
She would said, Fred, she'd be the last one you'd suspect of
Absolutely.
being undercover.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Dad, just drop me at the door. I'll make it in the lickety split. What about your ID? Huh? You don't have an ID.
I got an idea. I got an idea. I'm going to go to Florida and learn baseball.
It's a multiverse. Dad, just drop me off and all will be fine. He'll come back. He'll have lived at Logan for a week.
Milo, do you have your boarding pass?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got a pass. I passed. I got a C. Yeah,
Did you pack your toiletries in a separate bag?
Nah, they have bathrooms there, Dad. It's funny. I can just picture if I dropped him off on Sunday and then I come back the next Saturday and he's just still at the ticket counter at Delta. Huh? Nothing ever took off. camp was lame. We just sat at this airport the whole time. That was so funny. Just drop me off. I'll be fine. Yeah, you'll be great. You'll get it done. Like, you know, they have a sign with, like, your name on it when you get to Tampa at the baggage claim. You remember what your name looks like? Or do you want them to have a picture of you or a mirror? That's me. That guy's mimicking everything I'm doing. It's like Peter. It's like Pink Panther. All right. There you go. Everyone's getting old. No. The melancholy. All right. We'll be back with the stack. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines. hottest from the show. It's time for The Stack. Untouched.
Like the heels of the soles of my feet are on the bed, on the mattress.
The soles of your feet are on the mattress.
Like in a reverse crab position, and my knees are in the air. So I wake up and I've obviously half asleep or mostly asleep, gotten in possession to get up out of bed to go urinate, but have not had the will to do it. This can't be good sleep. My son has a video of me when we were in Charleston, all gesturing around and sleeping weird. It's not good. I'm snoring and I'm moving my shirt around, and it's not a restful sleep. It's quite a violent act.
What?
You're fighting some things?
I don't know. Apparently, my subconscious is having a little bit of a time.
I'm afraid I know the answer to this question, but do you have a time that you try to go to bed regardless of the day of the week or anything else? I mean,
no, not regardless of the day of the week.
Okay.
But I get tuckered out. But I can rally. I told you the one time I was up watching the tennis match at 1 o'clock in the morning like a lunatic. Like a real rock star.
Well, you can watch the Olympics today, but you can't watch the triathlon apparently. As they got they got a heat wave, which I'm guessing one might have something to do with the other. Heat wave alerts for Tuesday. Paris expected to see the hottest day of the year, with 93 to 97 degrees forecast as the high temperature. So with that comes some issues with the water.
That's always been the Rich Roll is there, famous endurance athlete Rich Roll, and he was talking about how did you hear the mayor of Paris jumped in the water?
Yes,
to prove that it was okay, but it's not okay.
About 10 days ago.
Yeah, he's got hepatitis.
So they.
I made that up.
Okay,
this isn't like the Opie and Anthony Mayer thing.
No,
I'm
because.
I don't need the mayor of Paris's family thinking he has hepatitis.
Is it the Seine or the same? Which way are we saying it, Dan O'Brien?
Seine, right? Seine. I've been there. Have you ever been there? Did you put a lock on the bridge?
No, but it is wonderful just to see the many, many lovers who had come before me.
They do not allow you to put a lock up there, to my knowledge now. But I did put a lock up there. A lot of good it did me.
Yeah.
It's almost a one-way ticket to Splitsville, if you ask me.
Maybe that explains it. We didn't put a lock up there, and we're still together. And the person you put the lock up there, you two are quits.
Yeah, 2 years now.
How about that?
Boy, oh boy.
Anyway, forced to postpone the men's triathlon for at least a day because of pollution levels.
What's the point of even living?
Too high for the athletes to compete. They decided at 5:00 a.m. Paris time, just 3 hours before the triathlon was supposed to start. Seems to me if you're a triathlete, you might have things to do in preparation for a triathlon the next day. So being told 3 hours ahead of time it's canceled, that's going to throw a wrench into the works. So they just try tomorrow. But try it again tomorrow.
It's funny because I mentioned Rich Roll, and when I got this dog, I got to walk the dog a lot. So I have audiobooks that I've gotten into. And when I first got into audiobooks, I got the Rich Roll. He does a podcast that I find interesting, but he is like a big endurance athlete, does the huge races, like the 60-mile races and stuff. And so I listened to 3 different guys. One of the dudes ran across the country, and and they're doing 30 miles, 40 miles a day for 2 weeks, 3 weeks in a row. Well, no, more than that. 3 or 4 months in a row.
That's insanity.
But then, a triathlon, after you've read that, is so what, you puss? Big deal. You ran you swam a couple of miles, and then you biked 30 miles, and then you ran a marathon. Big deal. I mean, this guy ran across the country. Their feet are falling off. They're getting screwed in business.
Well, it's an added challenge if the pollution levels, primarily E. coli, are still at a level that is unsafe. So that adds an element to it that you don't get when you're just running. So good for them.
Lucky dogs. There should be a lot of accidents come to running.
They'll try it again tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Britney Spears has a new product out, Fred. You were a skater back in the day. Right?
I was never good, but I did spend a lot of time on a skateboard.
Well, if you were still skating, do you think you would be interested in a Britney Spears skate deck?
I'm not interested in it because they got her approval. What used to be great, and good luck buying one of these because they're super expensive, but what skate companies used to do in the early 90s, late 80s, is that they would use licensing without permission, and then they'd get a cease and desist and just stop making it. Like there was a company, Sal Rocco's company, World Industries, that put out the Peanuts with Charles Manson as one of the characters. They put out a Doonesbury cigarette one that came with a real cigarette.
Okay.
Like, so when a kid bought the deck, it came with a cigarette in it.
Just a Lucy.
A Lucy. Yeah, it came with a loose cigarette in it. They would do, so Tony Hawk had Birdhouse, and Sal Rocco's World Industries, their logo was a devil, like a flaming devil. And they had a graphic that was Tony Hawk bent over with his pants down with the devil doing his thing to him. And they ran that in Big Brother magazine because Sal Rocco owned it, and it was a skate deck. Like, it was so awesome. They would use people's pictures without permission. Like, it was this Wild West. And it's this great art. There's artists like Sean Cliver. I follow them on Instagram. And they're still active. But I read that story, and I get it, and good for Britney Spears and everything, but it was much more fun when they were using all the stuff. You could go down a huge rabbit hole with it. I mean, they stole everything. But it was great. They were really good artists. And now their work is there's gallery showings of their work and all this stuff.
It's kind of brilliant, though, to just keep doing it without permission. Wait for the cease and desist. You'll sell a ton of them.
Okay, so on Hulu, at least it used to be up there. It's certainly on YouTube. It's called The Man Who Sold the World, SOLED, The Man Who Sold the World, and it's about Sal Rocco from World Industries and Big Brother magazine. It's worth a watch. It's insane. That magazine, I have a bunch of original issues of it. I like collected them. The idea that magazine existed is insane. The bearing, bearings that go into the wheels that go on the skateboard. There's an ad that's just a bearing in a woman, and it's just a close-up of it. A bearing in a woman, and it's just a close-up of it. And that's the ad in a skateboard magazine available at 7-Eleven. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, one of the issues I have is how to make a fake ID is the cover. And then inside, it's how to make a fake ID. And this is, people are not going to like this, but I didn't do it.
Let me tell you
There's
something.
an issue where the cover is how to kill yourself.
That's not.
And then the article is just a bunch of different ways to kill yourself.
Let me tell you something. That's not good for the bearing or the woman.
I don't think it's a real woman.
Okay.
But I didn't
But
know
if it's
else how to put
if it's
it.
a real bearing, I mean, that thing requires special treatment, and then that's not the treatment it requires. All right. So
I didn't know how to describe the.
No, I think you got it. No, you did it. I think you did well. My Chemical Romance getting back together. Nick Gimelli, big fan of the band. Did you hear about this? My Chemical Romance.
That's his favorite
reuniting.
Band. Yep.
No, they're not.
The National is his favorite band. My Chemical Romance is like a 1A.
Well, guess what? They're not getting back together because somebody hacked their Facebook.
When you hear the National, John, what do you think about?
I think about that All Sports newspaper that is now defunct.
There's only one, the National, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
That was the Ford's vehicle.
No, that's Buick. That is a GM vehicle, Grand National. And 88 was the only year they got the turbo right.
Yeah, you've talked about that before. Isn't that odd that we've only been on the air for going on 7 months, and that's the second mention of that particular make and model of car?
How many mentions are we going to get of Milo going to Florida this weekend? That was 2 in 1 day so far.
No, only one. And that was the story, and I actually just got a text that he did not like that story. He was listening to it.
Okay.
When was the other time I mentioned it? It might have been off air. It might have been off air. It might not have been on air.
No, that counts the same to me because I don't differentiate between the two.
I'm so sorry to be sharing with you a big milestone in my life.
I'm so sorry to talk about the Buick Grand National, which was the fastest American production car at the time.
First of all, you take this as an insult when it's not even an insult. It was just interesting that there was something so specific that you've mentioned twice. I remembered it. That's a compliment to you. Milliken's here. Oh, Milliken, you got to come in early tomorrow. We're doing. I'm seeing just how many of these rosters you know, buddy boy. I call BS on you, sir.
Is anyone? Is he? Are you aware of any of this? Tyler Milliken's cousin's cousin?
How is he back there and I can't see him? He must be very well hidden. All right, now I see you. I got my eye on you, Milliken. I'll say it to your face. Call BS. All right, that'll do it for us. Everyone have